So today what we are doing is we are starting with arithmetic first topic, that is percentages. This is the basics because ഈ പഠിപ്പിക്കുന്ന percentages ഇന്നിപ്പോൾ പഠിപ്പിക്കുന്നത് it doesn't just come, doesn't just help you solve percentages direct questions, it will also help you solve every other question because in many other topics cat people who make question involve the concept of percentages. So just concept percentage or concept വെച്ച് സോൾവ് ചെയ്യുന്ന പോലത്തെ questions ഉണ്ടാവും. At the same time there will be other kind of questions wherein you will need many other concepts, for example speed, distance, time. അതിൽ percentages ഉണ്ടാവും. So അതിൽ you will have to include what we are learning today to solve, including the other concept as well. Can you guys see my screen now? Is it visible, guys? Yes or no? Okay. Okay, is it, can you see QA class 3 basics of fraction, percentages, profit and loss? Okay, so see, percentages എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ ഒരു basic, there is one basic concept, and from that there are two application level topics. Broadly there are two application level topics, which is profit and loss, discount, all of them come together. That is, നിങ്ങളിപ്പോൾ ഒരു ഷോപ്പിൽ പോകുമ്പോൾ ഉള്ള ഡിസ്കൗണ്ട്സ് ഓർ ഒരു ഷോപ്പ് കീപ്പർ ഉണ്ടാവുന്ന പ്രോഫിറ്റ് ലോസ്, all of that come under percentages. And you also have simple interest and compound interest. These two are the application level കൺസെപ്റ്റ്സ് ഓഫ് പെർസെൻറ്റേജസ്. പെർസെൻറ്റേജ് എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ഒരു കൺസെപ്റ്റ് പഠിക്കുമ്പോൾ അതിൻ്റെ അപ്ലിക്കേഷൻ ആയിട്ട് വരുന്നതാണ് പ്രോഫിറ്റ് ആൻഡ് ലോസ് ആൻഡ് സിമ്പിൾ ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റ്, കോമ്പൗണ്ട് ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റ്. ബട്ട് ബിഫോർ വി ഗോ ഇൻ ടു ദാറ്റ്, let's look at what we learned in the last class. You can see the last class slide, right? Last class we learned factorize. So far in our basics of QA, what are we learned? We learned factorization, LCM, HCF. ഇതിന്റെ അത്യാവശ്യം good number of questions you guys did during practice. And since none of you told uh, any mistake or any problem that you are facing, so I understand that you guys are quite familiar with HCF and LCM now. And LCM of fractions ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു, അതിൻ്റെയും ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസും പ്രാക്ടീസ് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസിൽ ഉണ്ടായി. Then basics of equation, solving equation with one variable, which you guys are familiar now. Formation of equation and solving equations in one variable, equation two variables, which we just talked now. Forming equations and equation solving, these are what we learned. Okay, these are the basic things that you will need. Inipa, let's come to, before percentages I just want to make one more concept clear to you guys, that is fractions. So fractions as a, ഇപ്പോൾ ഒരു fraction, ഇപ്പോൾ for instance if I say 1/2, 1/2 ഓഫ് സംതിങ് എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ എസെൻഷ്യലി എന്താ ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത് വെച്ചാൽ ആ സംതിങ്, ലെറ്റ് സേ 1/2 ഓഫ് 1 kg, 1 kg റൈസിന്റെ 1/2 എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ വാട്ട് വി സേ ഈസ് 1 kg റൈസിന് 2 ആയിട്ട് ഡിവൈഡ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് അതിൽ നിന്ന് 1 പാർട്ട് മാത്രം പിക്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ. ക്ലിയർ? 2 ആയിട്ട് ഡിവൈഡ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് 1 പാർട്ട് മാത്രം പിക്ക് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ 1 kg റൈസ് 2 ആയിട്ട് ഡിവൈഡ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ എന്താ കിട്ടുന്നത്? വാട്ട് ഡു യു ഗെറ്റ്? യു ഗെറ്റ് 2.5 kg റൈസ് ബാഗ്സ് അല്ലേ? അതിൽ നിന്ന് 1 മാത്രം പിക്ക് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ യു ഗെറ്റ് 0.5 kg. ക്ലിയർ? Same if I say 3/5 of something, what we mean is ആ ഉള്ള ഐറ്റംന്ന് 5 ആയിട്ട് ഡിവൈഡ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് അതിൽ നിന്ന് 3 പാർട്സ് മാത്രം പിക്ക് ചെയ്താൽ എന്ത് വാല്യൂ കിട്ടുമോ അതാണ് ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത്. ഓക്കെ, ഫോർ എക്സാമ്പിൾ ഇഫ് ഐ സേ 3/5 ഓഫ് 1 meter, 1 meter in the rod, I want 3/5 of 1 meter rod. What do we do? 1 meter rod എടുത്ത് 5 equal parts ആയിട്ട് ഡിവൈഡ് ചെയ്യും, അതിൽ നിന്ന് 3 parts മാത്രം പിക്ക് ചെയ്യും. 3 parts മാത്രം എടുക്കുമ്പോൾ what is going to be the length? What is going to be the length? 0.6, right? 5 equal parts I divide ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ we'll divide it into 0.5 meter into 5 equal parts. അതിൽ നിന്ന് 3 parts pick ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ you'll get 0.2, 0.2, 0.2, that is 0.6, 0.6 meter അല്ലേ? 1 meter 5 parts ആയി ഡിവൈഡ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ 0.2 metersന്റെ 5 equal parts ആയിട്ടാണ് കിട്ടുന്നത്. So this is what we mean when we say fractions. Okay, so uh, so this is the basic thing that we know about fractions. But these kind of fractions are called as proper fractions, wherein if you look at this numerator is this number above the fraction. The one below the fraction is called the one below the fraction is called denominator. So where numerator is less than denominator, it is called as a proper fraction. Okay, all the examples, say 5 by 6, 5 by 6, 7 by 10, all of these are proper fractions, wherein if you look at this, ഇതിന്റെ decimal value നിങ്ങൾ എടുക്കുമ്പോൾ you will always get it below 1, right? ഇവിടെ 0.5 ആയിരുന്നു, ഇവിടെ 0.6 ആണ്, ഇതുപോലെ you'll get below 1. Okay, but what about 3 by 2? 3 by 2, if you see, numerator is greater than denominator. So the moment you see that, you should be able to understand that if you convert this into real value, that is if point form convert ചെയ്യുവാണെങ്കിൽ, you will get this above 1. Okay, the value will be above 1. Those kind of ones are called as improper fraction, where numerator is greater than denominator. ഇതിന്റെ you will get the value as 1.5. Clear? So let's say hypothetically, ഞാൻ വെറുതെ ഒരു എക്സാമ്പിൾ ആയിട്ട് തരുന്നത്, ഡോണ്ട് തിങ്ക് കാറ്റ് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസ് ആർ ദിസ് ഈസി. ലെറ്റ്സ് സേ കാറ്റ് എക്സാമ്പിൾ ദേ ആസ്ക് യു വാട്ട് ഈസ് ദ വാല്യൂ ഓഫ് 130 134 divided by 127, and before that the options I'll tell you: a zero point 0.5, b 0.8, c 1 point something, let's say 1 point 1.0 or 1.01 or 1.0 1.01 or 1.02, d point 2. What would you answer? Even without calculation, you should be able to mark point C, option C. Why? Because you know it is going to be above 1, right? Out of the options. So this is something that you should do. The moment you read question, don't jump into calculation. Look at the options. If it is very evident in the options, just mark in the option itself. Why do you have to calculate and waste time? Okay, but this is what you should know about improper fractions. Improper fractions are where numerator is greater than denominator. Usually improper fractions real numbers ആയിട്ട് convert ചെയ്യുവാണെങ്കിൽ it will be greater than 1. It will come 1 point something. Now there is another thing called mixed fractions. So mixed fraction എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ, now you must have seen നമ്മുടെ 7th and 8th we used to learn these things: 3 1 by 2 അല്ലേ? 3 1 by 2. ഇപ്പോൾ നേരത്തെ എക്സാമ്പിൾ, ലെറ്റ്സ് സേ 3 by 2, similar to what we did in the kind of analogy that we gave previously. 3 by 2 എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ, what are we saying? If there is one item and we divide it into two equal parts, ആ പാർട്ട് പോലത്തെ 3 parts പിക്ക് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ what value do you get? So same example, 3 by 2 of 1 meter rod എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ, first thing you should do is, the moment there is 2, ഈ ഡിനോമിനേറ്ററിന് ഇതായിട്ട് ഡിവൈഡ് ചെയ്യണം. That is 1 meter, you will be dividing it into two equal parts. 1 meter 2 equal parts ആയിട്ട് ഡിവൈഡ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ you get 0.5 meter. ഇവിടെ പറയുന്നത് 0.5 meter അതേപോലത്തെ ത്രീ ഐറ്റംസ് പിക്ക് ചെയ്യണം. അപ്പോൾ 0.5 meter, 0.5 meter, 0.5 meter, ഇതുപോലത്തെ മൂന്നെണ്ണം പിക്ക് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ you get 1.5 meter. ക്ലിയർ അല്ലേ? അതാണ് മിക്സഡ് ഫ്രാക്ഷൻ, അതാണ് ഇംപ്രോപ്പർ ഫ്രാക്ഷൻസിന്റെ. ഹിയർ വാട്ട് യു ആർ സേയിങ് ഇസ് 3 1 by 2 എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ, ലെറ്റ്സ് സേ 3 1 by 2 ഓഫ് 1 meter എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ, വാട്ട് ദേ സേ ഇസ്, മൾട്ടിപ്ലൈ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ വാട്ട് ആർ വി ആക്ച്വലി ഡൂയിങ്, ആ ഉള്ള ഐറ്റം തന്നെ മൾട്ടിപ്പിൾ ആയിട്ട് എടുക്കുക ചെയ്യുന്നത് അല്ലേ? മൾട്ടിപ്പിൾ ആയിട്ട് എടുക്കുക. അപ്പോൾ വാട്ട് വി ആർ ഡൂയിങ് ഇസ് 3 1 by 2 എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ 1 മീറ്ററിന്റെ 3, വാട്ട് ഐ ആം ട്രൈയിങ് ടു ടെൽ യു, 3 1 by 2 ഓഫ് 1 meter എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ 1 meter റോഡിന്റെ ഐ വോണ്ട് 3 ഓഫ് ദം. ഓക്കെ, ആൻഡ് ഓൾസോ ഇതിന്റെ കൂടെ ഐ വാണ്ട് 1 മീറ്ററിന്റെ 1 by 2. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് 1 മീറ്റർ പിന്നെ 2 ആയിട്ട് ഡിവൈഡ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് അതിൽ നിന്ന് 1 പാർട്ട് പിക്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ഗോയിങ് ടു ബി 0.5 അല്ലേ? സോ ദിസ് ടുഗദർ ഈസ് ഗോയിങ് ടു ബി 3.5. കറക്റ്റ്? Now, mixed fractions in there, if you want them in the form of fractions, what you can do is you can convert mixed fractions to improper fraction. That is, this mixed fraction you can convert it to improper fraction. How do you do that? Same, 3 1 by 2 എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ what you should do is it will become 3 into 2 plus 1 divided by 2, which is 7 by 2. Clear? Mixed fraction, again a very basic concept which we learned. Okay, is that clear? Now when I say let's say 5 5 by 6 na, convert it into real number, what are you going to do now? Convert 5 by 6 into real number. Real number എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ what I say is that a point a decimal form ഇല്ലേ, അതാണ് real number. How will you do 5 by 6? One way of doing is normal division that we have learnt in our primary class. That is, ഇപ്പോൾ 5 ചെറുതായതുകൊണ്ട് compared to 6, what you do is you write it as 0 point. Point ഇടുമ്പോൾ you can put 1 0 here, it becomes 50 by 6. ഇനി 50 by 6 ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ 6 8s are 48. So what you do, you write 8 here, you have 2 remainder, 2 again will become 20, 20 kude 20 by 6 will be, again it will go as 6 6 6, it will go like this. Alle, sorry, my bad, 3 3 3. അല്ലേ, 0.833. അപ്പോൾ ഇതാണ് what you get when you convert fractions into real number. 0.833. 5 by 6 is 0.833. But at the same time, if you remember first ക്ലാസ്സിൽ നമ്മൾ ഞാനൊരു റെസിപ്രോക്കൽസിന്റെ ഒരു ടേബിൾ കാണിച്ചിരുന്നു. What was 1 by 6 in that? What was 1 by 6? 0.166 അല്ലേ? 1 by 6 was 0.166. ഓക്കെ, സോ ഇപ്പൊ ഞാൻ നേരത്തെ പറഞ്ഞ എക്സാമ്പിളിൽ 5 by 6 എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ വാട്ട് വാസ് ഐ സെയിങ്? ഐ വാസ് സെയിങ് ഒരു ഐറ്റം ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ലെറ്റ്സ് സേ 5 by 6 ഓഫ് 1 മീറ്റർ. എഗൈൻ ഒരു ഐറ്റം ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ, ഒരു 1 മീറ്ററിന്റെ റോഡ് ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അത് 6 ഈക്വൽ പാർട്സ് ആയിട്ട് ഡിവൈഡ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് അതിൽ നിന്ന് 5 പാർട്സ് പിക്ക് ചെയ്യാനാണ് പറഞ്ഞത് അല്ലേ? കറക്റ്റ് അല്ലേ? കോൺവേഴ്സ് ടു ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് 6 പാർട്സ് ആയിട്ട് ഡിവൈഡ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് 1 പാർട്ട് മാത്രം എടുത്ത് കളയാൻ. കറക്റ്റ്? ദാറ്റ് മീൻസ് 5 by 6 will become 1 minus 1 by 6. കറക്റ്റ് ആണോ? 1 minus 1 by 6. അപ്പോൾ ഇപ്പം ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ വാട്ട് യു ഷുഡ് ഡു, മെന്റലി കാൽക്കുലേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ 5 by 6 is nothing but 1 നിന്ന് 0.166 റിമൂവ് ചെയ്യണം. ബിക്കോസ് വൈ? ബിക്കോസ് 1 by 6 is 0.166. 1 നിന്ന് 0.166 റിമൂവ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ യു ഗെറ്റ് 0.833. ക്ലിയർ? ഇസ് ഇറ്റ് ക്ലിയർ? So you should be learning all the approaches. ഇപ്പൊ ഇങ്ങനെയും പോവാം. If this is easier, you go like this. If the other way is easier, you go the other way. So you should be comfortable with all of them. Same way, what is 7 by 8? What is 7 by 8? Link it to the similar this method when you do it. What is going to be 7 by 8? What was 1 by 8? Anyone remembers 1 by 8? 1 by 8 was 0.125. Okay, so 7 by 8 is going to be 1 minus 0.125, which is 0.875. Alle? 0.875. Why? Simple. If you remove 125 from 1000, you get 875. അങ്ങനെ നോക്കിയാൽ മതി. So now from what we learned, can you guys solve this? 11 by 3 is correct. What about the next one? Sorry, 116 by 7. Yeah, correct. അതെങ്ങനെ ചെയ്ത് 16 into 7 plus 4 അല്ലേ? 16 into 7, how do you do? How do you do 16 into 7? You can do 7 into 10 first, 70, plus 7 into 5, 35, 105 ആയി, plus ഒരു 7 കൂടി ആഡ് ചെയ്ത 112. 112 plus 4, 116. ക്ലിയർ ആണോ? എല്ലാവരും ക്ലിയർ ആണെങ്കിൽ ഒന്ന് ക്ലിയർ ആണ് ടൈപ്പ് ചെയ്യാം. We can go to the next one if it's clear. Clear, not clear? I got two clears here. Others? Dishil clear ആണോ? Eva clear ആണോ? Okay, let's go into how do we add or subtract fractions. Let's say you have 3 by 5, sorry, 3 by 5 plus 2 by 10. Then add ചെയ്യും. Fractions add ചെയ്യാൻ the basic thing that you need is the denominator has to be same. Okay, denominator same ആവണം. അപ്പോൾ denominator same ആവണമെങ്കിൽ what I can do here is I can make this 5 into 10 by multiplying by 2. Correct അല്ലേ? പക്ഷെ ഫ്രാക്ഷൻസിൽ അത് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ വാട്ട് എവർ യു ഡു ഓൺ ദി ഡിനോമിനേറ്റർ യു ഷുഡ് ഡു ഓൺ ദ ന്യൂമറേറ്റർ ആസ് വെൽ. സോ ഡിനോമിനേറ്റർ ടു ഇൻറ്റു ടു ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ വെൻ വി ആർ ഡൂയിങ് ഡിനോമിനേറ്റർ ഇൻറ്റു ടു ടു ഗെറ്റ് 10, you should also do numerator into 2. Okay, so this thing becomes 6 by 10 plus 2 by 10. Okay, which is nothing but இப்போ you can add the numerators because denominator is common, which is 8 by 10, which is also 4 by 5. And another way of doing it was reducing this to 1 by 5, and then 3 by 5 plus 1 by 5 would have become 4 by 5, same. Okay, now what if it was 1 by 2 plus 2 by 3, 1 by 2 plus 2 by 3. Here in the reduce ചെയ്താലും it won't become same. So now what you should do is, again we have to try making the denominator same അല്ലേ? ഡിനോമിനേറ്റർ ഈ ഡിനോമിനേറ്റർ സെയിം ആക്കണമെങ്കിൽ വാട്ട് യു ഷുഡ് ഡു ഇസ് വാട്ട് ഈസ് ഗോയിങ് ടു ബി ദി കോമൺ. അപ്പോൾ വാട്ട് യു ഹാവ് ടു ഡു ഇൻ ദിസ് കേസസ്, in all the cases denominator no, what you should do is you have to take the LCM of denominators and make the denominators to be LCM of denominators. So LCM of 2 and 3 in the LCM of 2 and 3 is 6. അല്ലേ? So now what I should do is I have to make this denominator 2 into, I have to change it to 6. അത് ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിൽ എന്താ ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്? ഡിനോമിനേറ്റർ 2 into 3 ചെയ്യണം. അപ്പോൾ ഇവിടെ into 3 ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ ന്യൂമറേറ്റർ ഓൾസോ into 3 ചെയ്യണം. Similarly ഇത് 6 ആക്കണമെങ്കിൽ 3 into 2 ചെയ്യണം. Similarly I have to do numerator into 2. So what do I get? I'll get this, if I do this I'll get 3 by 6 plus 4 by 6 അല്ലേ? Now you can add them and you will get it as 7 by 6. So what did we learn now? If you have to add or subtract fractions, you should have the denominator to be common. Denominator should be same in order to add it easily. അപ്പോൾ അത് ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിൽ what you should do is you have to take the LCM of denominators and you should aim making the denominators into LCM so that you can add or subtract numerators. Clear? What we did now, you have to do the same for subtraction as well of fractions. So can you try solving this? ആൻസർ കിട്ടുമ്പോൾ തന്നെ ഒന്ന് ചാറ്റിലിടണേ. ഗസ്ല, ആം ഐ ഓഡിബിൾ? സ്ക്രീൻ ഷെയറിംഗ് ഒക്കെ കാണുന്നുണ്ടോ? സ്ക്രീൻ കാണുന്നുണ്ടോ? PPT. Since you are facing the issue with the other class, I am asking you. Okay. Fine. Come on, guys. First one answer ഇട്ടില്ലേ? Yeah. So ഇതിൽ എന്താ ചെയ്യുന്നത്? LCM of 8 and 5. We have to find out LCM of 8 and 5, which is 40. അല്ലേ? LCM of 8 and 5 is 40. Now I have to make my both of them into by 40 by 40 form. So ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിൽ 8 into 5. So I'll get the first one as 5 by 40 plus 5 into 8 ചെയ്യണം. So this will be 24 by 40. അപ്പോൾ രണ്ടും ആഡ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ you get 29 by 40. Now do the second one and post the answer. Again, same LCM of 7 and 4 is going to be 28. So you will get the first fraction as you have to 7 into 4 ചെയ്യണം. So it will be 6 into 4, which is going to be 24 by 28 minus 21 by 28. So when you do this, you get 3 by 28. Is that clear? What if it was 3 by 4 minus 6 by 7? 3 by 4 minus 6 by 7 ആയിരുന്നെങ്കിലോ? 3 by 4 minus 6 by 7 ആണെങ്കിൽ it would have been 21 by 28 minus 24 by 28. So the answer would have been minus 3 by 28. Clear? Minus 3 by 28. Okay. Now let's go into multiplication of two factors. Multiplication ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ you don't have to make the denominators and all common. You can directly multiply. For example, 1 by 2 into 1 by 3 ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ what you do is you get 1 by 6. That is 1 into 1, 1 into 1 numerator by 2 into 3, which is going to be 1 by 6. Okay. Another way of looking at this is when you say 1 by 2 into 1 by 3, what you're saying is of something, let's say of a unit, divide that into three equal parts and select one, so you get this thing. So you'll get 1 by 3 of something. Adinde again take half of it, again take half of it, so you get 1 by 3 into half is going to be 1 by 6. Okay. One thing that you can do in multiplication is 1 by 2 into 2 by 3 ആയിരുന്നെങ്കിൽ you can simply cancel out these two. Cross cancel ചെയ്യാം. 1 by 2 into 2 by 3 ആകുമ്പോൾ you can cross cancel and you will get 1 by 3 as the answer. Similarly, if it was 1 by 7 into 14 by 30, 14 by 30, what you can do ഇത് മൾട്ടിപ്പിൾസ് അല്ലേ 7 and ഈ 14ന്റെ അകത്തൊരു 7 ഇല്ലേ, you can cancel it out. 14ന്റെ അകത്തൊരു 7 cancel ചെയ്താൽ you have only 2 left അല്ലേ. Again പിന്നെ ഈ 2 and ഈ 30യിലുള്ള ഒരു 2 cancel ചെയ്താൽ you will get 15 here. So you will get the answer as 1 by 15. Is this clear? Everyone please just on the clear type ചെയ്ത് നമുക്ക് മെയിൻ ടോപ്പിക്കിലോട്ട് പോകണം. Percentages. If it's clear, please tell me. If it's not clear, I'll explain it again. Tell me what to be explained again. ഓക്കെ, മൂന്ന് പേര് ക്ലിയർ എന്ന് ഇട്ടിട്ടുണ്ട് ചാറ്റിൽ. ബാക്കി വി ഹാവ് ടു മോർ പീപ്പിൾ. ഗസ്ല എവ ക്ലിയർ ആണോ? ക്ലിയർ ആണെങ്കിൽ ചാറ്റിൽ ക്ലിയർ ഒന്ന് ടൈപ്പ് ചെയ്യൂ. Addition and subtraction of fractions, multiplication of fractions. Clear എന്ന് ഇട്ടില്ലെങ്കിൽ ഐ എം അസ്യൂമിങ് ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് നോട്ട് ക്ലിയർ. അപ്പൊ എന്താണ് ക്ലിയർ ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്? വാട്ട് ഇസ്? ഓക്കെ, ഗസ്ല ക്ലിയർ. ഓക്കെ, നൗ ഇതൊന്ന് ചെയ്യൂ. Can you guys do this? Okay, so 1 into 3, 3 divided by 7 into 4, 28. Fair and simple. Next one. Next one. ഓക്കെ, ഞാൻ ഒരു ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ചോദിക്കട്ടെ? ഈ ത്രീ ഇങ്ങനെ ക്യാൻസൽ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുമോ? ക്യാൻ ഐ ക്യാൻസൽ ലൈക്ക് ദിസ് ആൻഡ് റൈറ്റ് ഇറ്റ് ആസ്, ഇതിങ്ങനെ ക്യാൻസൽ ചെയ്തിട്ട് ഇറ്റ് ബിക്കംസ് വാട്ട്, 5 into 2, 10/4. That's not allowed. Okay, you shouldn't do this. Why? Because it's a mixed fraction. അപ്പോൾ ആദ്യം ഈ മിക്സഡ് ഫ്രാക്ഷൻ നിന്ന് ഇംപ്രോപ്പർ ഫ്രാക്ഷൻ ആയിട്ട് കൺവേർട്ട് ചെയ്യണം. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ഇറ്റ്സ് ഗോയിങ് ടു ബി 2/3 ഇൻറ്റു 23/4 അല്ലേ? 5 into 4 plus 3, 23 divided by 4. So ഇനിയിപ്പോൾ you can cancel this 2 and you can cancel this. You will get this 2 and here you will get 23 divided by 6. That is 3 into 2. You will get 6. This is the answer. Okay. Now division of fractions. Let's say we are doing 1/2 divided by 1/3. Division of fractions ആകുമ്പോൾ what you should do is simple thing. താഴെ ഉള്ള ഫ്രാക്ഷൻ ഇല്ലേ, ഇതിന് മുകളിലോട്ട് കൊണ്ടുപോകാം. ടു ഡു ദാറ്റ് യു ഹാവ് ടു റിവേഴ്സ് ഇറ്റ്, ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് റെസിപ്രോക്കൽ ആക്കണം. റെസിപ്രോക്കൽ ആക്കണം എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് ഗോയിങ് ടു ബി 1/2 ഇൻറ്റു ഇൻവേർട്ട് ചെയ്യണം. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് ഗോയിങ് 3/1 ആവും. Okay, this is division of fractions. So you will get the answer as 3/2. Is that clear? Any number, let's say 5/7 divided by 10/35. This will become 5/7. This is 5. Okay, 5/7 into 35/10. This you can cancel out, you will get a 5 here. This you can cancel, you will get 2. So the answer is going to be 5/2. Now try solving this. You can tell the answer V1 without pen and paper. So this is going to be 1/5 divided by 1/9, which is going to be 1/5 into 9/1, which is nothing but 9/5. Clear? Okay, so we have completed all the topics in all the prerequisite topics for QA. ഇനി ഇപ്പോൾ QA topics proper ആയിട്ട് സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്യാനുള്ള ടൈമായി. Okay, so everything that is needed to solve basic things about mathematics that is needed to solve QA, we have done it in the now in today's class. In the for the past close to half an hour we did that, and in the previous two classes we have dealt with it. We started off with all of factorization, knowing about numbers, what are whole numbers, what is natural number, all of it. Then went into factorization, got to know what prime numbers are. Adina factorization ചെയ്തു. Then we went into equations one variable, equation in two variable, how to form an equation, how to solve an equation. Now we also learned about fractions, conversion of fractions, conversion of mixed fraction to improper fraction, addition of fractions, everything is there. All the basics are done now. Okay, so now let us start with our first proper cat topic, which comes in arithmetic. It comes in a module called arithmetic in QA, and it is percentages. സോ നൗ പെർസെൻറ്റേജിൻ്റെ ഒരു എക്സാമ്പിൾ, നമ്മളെല്ലാവരും ലൈഫിൽ കുറേ പ്രാവശ്യം പെർസെൻറ്റേജ് കേട്ടിട്ടുണ്ടല്ലേ. മെയിൻലി ഇപ്പോൾ സ്കൂൾ എക്സാംസ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇപ്പോൾ 10th സ്റ്റാൻഡേർഡ് 12th സ്റ്റാൻഡേർഡിൻ്റെ സ്കോർ നമ്മൾ വേറെ ആൾക്കാരുടെ അടുത്ത് പറയുമ്പോൾ വി യൂസ് ടു ടെൽ ഇൻ പെർസെൻറ്റേജ്. നമ്മളിപ്പോൾ ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ ഐ സ്കോർഡ് ഇത്രയും പെർസെൻറ്റേജ്, ഇപ്പോൾ 90%, 80%, ഇങ്ങനെ പറഞ്ഞുകൊണ്ടിരുന്നത് അല്ലേ. വൈ വെർ വി യൂസിങ് പെർസെൻറ്റേജ് ദർ? ഇപ്പോൾ ഞാനൊരു എക്സാമ്പിൾ തരാം. ലെറ്റ്സ് സേ ഇവിടെ സ്റ്റേറ്റ് സിലബസ് ആരെങ്കിലും ഉണ്ടോ? 12th സ്റ്റാൻഡേർഡ് സ്റ്റേറ്റ് സിലബസ്, 11th and 12th സ്റ്റേറ്റ് സിലബസ് ആരെങ്കിലും ഉണ്ടോ? ഓക്കെ, അപ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് 11th and 12th 12th സ്റ്റാൻഡേർഡിന്റെ മാർക്ക് എങ്ങനെയാ പറയുന്നത്? ടോട്ടൽ മാർക്സ് എങ്ങനെയായിരുന്നു അല്ലേ? ബിക്കോസ് 11th 11th 600 പ്ലസ് 12th 600 എല്ലാം കൂട്ടിയിട്ട് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഫൈനലി യു ആർ ടോൾഡ് ഔട്ട് ഓഫ് 1200 അല്ലേ. ഇപ്പൊ ലെറ്റ്സ് സേ ഔട്ട് ഓഫ് 1200 സി ബി എസ് ഇ ആരെങ്കിലും ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നോ? സി ബി എസ് ഇ നന്ദകൃഷ്ണൻ ഉണ്ട്. അപ്പൊ നമ്മളിപ്പോ 12th സ്റ്റാൻഡേർഡ് സി ബി എസ് ഇ ടോട്ടൽ മാർക്സ് എത്രയായിരുന്നു? അൺമ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്തിട്ട് പറയാം കേട്ടോ. 12th സ്റ്റാൻഡേർഡ് സി ബി എസ് ഇ, ഞാനും സി ബി എസ് ഇ ആയിരുന്നു. സോ ടോട്ടൽ മാർക്ക് വാസ് 500 അല്ലേ, 500. സോ ഇപ്പോ ലെറ്റ്സ് സേ വൺ പേഴ്സൺ സ്കോർഡ്, let's say I have person A who was in state syllabus. Hypothetically, let's say he scored 450 mark state syllabus. Another person B, let's say he also scored 450 mark. ഇനി ഇപ്പൊ ഈ രണ്ടുപേരുടെയും പെർഫോമൻസ് കമ്പയർ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ ക്യാൻ ഐ സേ രണ്ടുപേർക്കും 450 ഉണ്ട്, ദേ ഹാവ് പെർഫോംഡ് ഈക്വലി വെൽ? രണ്ടുപേരുടെ പെർഫോമൻസ് സെയിം ആണ്. ക്യാൻ ഐ സേ ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് സെയിം? Makes sense, right? I can say both of them are same because രണ്ടുപേർക്കും 450 കിട്ടി. രണ്ടുപേർക്കും 450 കിട്ടിയ ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് ഈക്വൽ പെർഫോമൻസ്, ദേ ഹാവ് സ്കോർഡ് ഈക്വൽ അല്ലേ. You cannot compare these two here because the total is different, right? When a person who just had 500 in total, out of 500 he has scored 450, that is much better than a person scoring 450 out of 1200 അല്ലേ. അപ്പോൾ ഇത് രണ്ടും കമ്പയർ ചെയ്യാൻ വി ഹാവ് ടു കം ടു വൺ പെർട്ടിക്കുലർ ടേം. വി നീഡ് സംതിങ് ടു കമ്പയർ. അവിടെയാണ് നമ്മൾ പെർസെൻറ്റേജ് യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. വാട്ട് വി ഡു ദർ ഇസ് രണ്ടുപേരുടെ ബേസ്, ഇപ്പൊ വാട്ട് ഇഫ് ഇപ്പൊ രണ്ടുപേരുടെ 100 ബേസ് ആയിരുന്നു, ദാറ്റ് ഇസ് ഇഫ് ടോട്ടൽ മാർക്ക് വാസ് 100, ഹൗ മച്ച് ഇസ് 450 ഔട്ട് ഓഫ് 500 ഈക്വാലന്റ് വെൻ ഇറ്റ് കംസ് ടു 100? ഡിനോമിനേറ്റർ 100 ആക്കുമ്പോൾ ഹൗ മച്ച് ഇസ് ഇറ്റ് ഗോയിങ് ടു ബി? ഈ ഡിനോമിനേറ്റർ 100 ആക്കണമെങ്കിൽ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് എന്താ ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്? 500 100 ആക്കണമെങ്കിൽ വാട്ട് ഷുഡ് ഐ ഡു? ഡിവൈഡഡ് ബൈ 5 അല്ലേ? അതേപോലെ അപ്പോൾ ഇവിടെ ഡിവൈഡഡ് ബൈ 5 ചെയ്താൽ ഇവിടെയും ഡിവൈഡഡ് ബൈ 5 ചെയ്യണം. കറക്റ്റ്? ന്യൂമറേറ്റർ. സോ 450 by 5, 500 by 5 is 100. We have written it here. 450 by 5 എത്ര? 450 by 5 is 90. Okay. So person B's 100 ലോട്ട് കൺവേർട്ട് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ you get it as 90 out of 100. Correct? Either same thing if I have to do for person A, 1200 I have to divide it by 12. Correct? So if I'm doing this by 12, I have to do this also by 12. Clear? So ഇത് 12 by 12 ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ 450 by 12 എത്ര? 450 by 12. Okay, how do you do this quickly? You can, if you look at this, you know that 3 and 3 are factor. 3 and 3 are factors. You can cancel out 3 here, you get 4. You can cancel out 3 from here, you get 150. അല്ലേ? 150 by 4. 150 by 4 ഇപ്പോൾ you can easily do. You know that it is somewhere close to 40. അല്ലേ? 150 by 4 is going to be 30. You will have 30 here, 37.5. അല്ലേ? Correct അല്ലേ? If we can compare these two scores. Why? Because the total out of the base is same now. Now you can compare it. Now when you look at it, you know that person A's performance was only 37.5 out of 100, while person B's performance is 90 out of 100, and very obviously person B has performed much better than person A. അല്ലേ? ആ comparison ഇപ്പോൾ കിട്ടിയില്ല. You can compare these two. You're getting to know that. This is the concept of percentage. What we are doing is, when it comes to percentage, anything that is there, we convert it to out of 100. Okay, our entirety out of that, our total change it will convert it to 100. Percent means percentage. Percentage is written as per. A word is formed as per cent. Cent means 100. Okay, what we are saying is per 100. For 100, how much is it? അതാണ് ഇവിടെ ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത്. That is what is percentage. Okay, so what we did here, ഇപ്പോൾ കൺവേർഷൻ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ let's focus on one number now. 450 marks, total 500, obtained 450. ഇനി ഇത് പെർസെൻറ്റേജ് ആക്കണമെങ്കിൽ വാട്ട് ഡു വി ഡു? ഇപ്പം ചെയ്ത പോലെ തന്നെ വാട്ട് ഡിഡ് വി ഡു? 450 divided by 500. Okay, 450 divided by 500. ശരിക്കും ഈ വാല്യൂ എത്ര വരുന്നത്? 450 divided by 500 ഒരു പ്രോപ്പർ ഫ്രാക്ഷൻ അല്ലേ? സോ ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് ഗോയിങ് ടു ബി ബിലോ 1. കറക്റ്റ്? 450 by 500. So what did we actually do? ഈ 450 out of 500 450 by 500 ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ you are making it out of 1 now. Divided by ഈ ടോട്ടൽ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ you are making it out of 1. ഇപ്പോൾ അതിൽ നിന്ന് into 100 ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ you get out of 100. Clear? 450 by 500 in the actual value is 0.9. അല്ലേ? But means what we are saying, if the total mark was 1, this person would have got 0.1, 0.9 marks. അല്ലേ? ബട്ട് പെർസെൻറ്റേജിൽ നമ്മുടെ ബേസ് ആയിട്ട് കോമൺ ബേസ് ആയിട്ട് എല്ലാവരും എടുക്കുന്നത് ഇസ് 100. ദിസ് ഇസ് സംതിങ് ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് അണ്ടർസ്റ്റുഡ്. സോ ഔട്ട് ഓഫ് 1 ഇനി കൺവേർട്ട് ചെയ്തിട്ട് ഔട്ട് ഓഫ് 100 ആക്കണം. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് വൈ വി ആർ മൾട്ടിപ്ലൈയിങ് ബൈ 100. So you get it as 90. പക്ഷേ ഇത് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ you will also write a percentage here so that people understand that this is out of 100. Clear? 450 by 500. ഇത് ബ്രേക്ക് ഡൗൺ ചെയ്താൽ you will get it as 0.9 out of 1. ഇനി what we told in percentage, for us the base has to be 100. ഇത് 100 ആക്കണമെങ്കിൽ ഇത് 100 ആക്കണം. ഇത് 100 ഇത് മൾട്ടിപ്ലൈ ബൈ 100 ചെയ്യുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ഇവിടെ മൾട്ടിപ്ലൈ ബൈ 100 ചെയ്യണം. And this one you can write it as percent. Okay, so it becomes 0.9 into 100%. Symbol കൂടി ഇടാം. You don't have to write this base 100. Instead of base 100 you write it as this thing, this symbol. So 0.9 into 100% you get 90%. Clear? Basic ഒരു percentage എന്താണെന്ന് മനസ്സിലായോ ഇപ്പൊ? ഓക്കെ, ഇനി ഡെഫിനേഷൻ ആയിട്ട് വായിച്ച് നോക്കാം. Percentages, a value or ratio that may be stated as a fraction of 100 is referred to as percentage. As a fraction of 100, അതല്ലേ ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരുന്നത്? ബേസ് 100, that is denominator 100 ആക്കുമായിരുന്നു as a fraction of 100. If we need to calculate a percentage of a number, we should divide it by its entirety. ഇവിടെ നമ്മളിപ്പോൾ entirety ആയിട്ട് it was total mark which was 500. So 450 divided by 500 and then multiply it by 100. 450 divided by 500 into 100 and ഒരു percentage symbol കൂടി ഇട്ടു. So what you do, obtained value divided by total value into 100 ഒരു percentage കൂടി ഇടാം into 100%. Clear? So if you get 50 marks in an exam where the full mark was 100 and your friend gets 100 marks in an exam where the total mark was 200, when you want to compare, you convert them to percentages, you get that both are 50%. That means both of their performance was equal. If 50 and 100 matra നോക്കുവാണെങ്കിൽ you feel like this person performed double than this guy and he performed much better. Okay, percentage load convert ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ you know that their percentages are same. That is their performance was same. Clear? Guys, yes or no? അപ്പോൾ പെർസെൻറ്റേജിൻ്റെ വാട്ട് ഡിഡ് വി ലേൺ ദ ഫോർമുല? ഒരു പെർസെൻറ്റേജ് ആയിട്ട് കൺവേർട്ട് ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിൽ ഒപ്റ്റെയിൻഡ് divided by total or entirety, okay, into 100%. Percent, that means into 100 ചെയ്യും എന്നിട്ട് ഒരു പെർസെൻറ്റേജിൻ്റെ സിമ്പിൾ കൂടി ഇടും. This is percentage. Now can you guys do this? 3 questions, you can do it fairly quickly. Okay, first one Gesla has got the answer. It is 80%. അല്ലേ? 80%. ഒരു പെർസെൻറ്റ് കൂടി ഇടുന്ന അല്ലെങ്കിൽ 80 എന്ന് മാത്രം ഇടുമ്പോൾ it is not a proper way of saying because people will not understand it's a percentage. പക്ഷേ 80% symbol ഇടുമ്പോൾ people will understand it. What's the second one? Second one, what is it? Okay, I'll give you guys 1 more minute, complete all 3 questions, and then I'll tell you the correct answer. Okay, let's do quickly. Let's do it fast. Okay, 64 by entirety is 80 into 100 percentage. അല്ലേ? ഇത് ക്യാൻസൽ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ you get 8, you get 10 here, ഈ 0 and 1 0 ഇവിടെ ക്യാൻസൽ ചെയ്യാം, you get 80%. Clear? Now next one, 3 by 20 divided by 12 by 25 into 100 percentage. This is division of fractions. എന്താ ചെയ്തത് 3 by 20 into 25 by 12 into 100 percentage. Okay, I can cancel 5 from both of them. I can cancel 5. I'll get 5 here. I'll get 4 here. Again, I can cancel 3. I'll get 4 here. What did I get? What did I get? 5 by 16. 5 by 16 into 100 percentage. 5 by 16 in ഇപ്പൊ എങ്ങനെ ചെയ്യേണ്ട 1 by 16 is going to be what? 1 by 8 നമുക്കറിയാം 1 by 8 is 12.5. Sorry, 1.125. That means 12.5 percentage. അതിന്റെ again half എടുക്കുമ്പോൾ 6.25 percentage. 6.25 into 5, it is going to be 30. 6 into 5 is going to be 30 plus 0.25 into 5 is going to be 1.25 percent. So it is going to be 31.25 percentage. Clear ആയോ ഇത്? Clear? Can I'll come again? I'll teach you guys one more thing. Wait, and then let's come back to this. Okay, let's do the third question and then I'll come. Question 1 and 2 clear or no? Yes or no? Just drop yes quickly. If it's clear, 1 and 2 both. Say the calculation clear no? 5 by 16. Okay, now question 3 again. Question 3 is again fairly simple. It is 20 by 30. Student A's performance is 20 by 30 into 100 percentage. Compare is who performed better. If you see the base is different, so you have to convert into percentage to find out. So this is going to be 2 by 3 is 66. 2 by 3 is 0.66 into 100 is going to be 66.66 percentage. This is A's. This is A. B is going to be 40 by 70 into 100 percentage. 4 by 7. 4 by 7, if you see, it's going to be 5. And then there's going to be 5 left. 57 point something, 57.1 percentage. Okay, 57.1. So if you look, A's percentage is greater than B, so A performed better. A performed better. Okay. Now, idhe calculation, I'll show you how it could have been easier. Maybe a bit more easier. ഇതിന് നമ്മൾ ഫസ്റ്റ് ക്ലാസ്സിൽ പഠിച്ച ഓർമ്മയുണ്ട് പീപ്പിൾ ഹു ഡിൻറ്റ് അറ്റൻഡ് ഫസ്റ്റ് ക്ലാസ് ഇപ്പൊ ഗസ്ല ഇഫ് യു ഹാഡ് വാച്ച്ഡ് ദ റെക്കോർഡിംഗ് കണ്ടായിരുന്നോ ഗസ്ല? Okay, I'll sort it out today. അതിന്റെ യൂട്യൂബ് ലിങ്ക് തന്നെ അയക്കാം, സോ യു വിൽ ബി ഏബിൾ ടു വാച്ച് ഇറ്റ്. ഓക്കെ, സോ ഫസ്റ്റ് ക്ലാസ്സിൽ ഇപ്പൊ ജസ്റ്റ് നോ ദാറ്റ് ഫസ്റ്റ് ക്ലാസ്സിൽ നമ്മൾ ഇങ്ങനത്തെ ഒരു ഇത് നോക്കിയായിരുന്നു, വേറെ അത്രയും പഠിപ്പിച്ചില്ല. ഐ ജസ്റ്റ് ടോൾഡ് എവറി വൺ ദാറ്റ് യു ഷുഡ് ബി ഫെമിലിയർ വിത്ത് ദിസ് reciprocals, that is values of reciprocal. 1 by 2 is 0.5, 1 by 3 is 0.33 അല്ലേ, 1 by 5 is 0.2, 1 by 6 നേരത്തെ പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ 0.166. അപ്പോൾ this same thing ഈ 0.5 you can also write it as 50 percentage. Okay, two decimals അങ്ങോട്ട്, like two digits you will bring it towards the left of the point. So 0.2 you can write it as 20 percentage. Okay, 1 by 6, which is 0.16, is you can also write it as 16.66 percentage. Why? What does percentage mean? Percentage means 1 by 100. അല്ലേ, ഈ symbol means 1 by 100. So 50% എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ 50 by 100, which is essentially 0.5, which is what we have written here also. Clear? So ഇനിയിപ്പോ if you, as I told you, if you learn these reciprocals and their values, your life is going to be easy when you calculate any when you do any question. Correct? So adevole, if you had done this here, when you did this 3 by 20 into 25 by 12. You get this as 5 by 4, and this was by 4. You get it as 5 by 16 അല്ലേ അല്ലേ ഇപ്പോൾ വൺ ബൈ സിക്സ്റ്റീൻ വേണമെങ്കിൽ വാട്ട് യു ക്യാൻ ഡു ഇസ് 1/16 is nothing but 1/2 into 1/8 അല്ലേ 1/8. If you knew that reciprocal number, you would know 1/8 is 12.5 percentage. Correct? So half of 12.5 percentage, 1 by 2 into 12.5, that is 12.5 by 2, you get it as 6.25 percentage. That means 1 by 6, 1 by 16, you will know it as 6.25 percentage. Okay? ഇനി ഇപ്പോൾ 5/16 ആകുമ്പോൾ 6.25 percentage into 5. Into 5 ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ what you can do is initially you can just do this. 6 into 5 you will get 30 percentage outright plus any 0.25 into 5. 0.25 into 5 ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ 0.25 into 4 you know is 1. അതിൻ്റെ കൂടെ ഒരു 0.25 കൂടി ആഡ് ചെയ്താൽ it is 1.25 percentage. So you get it as 31.25. This is the fastest way you can calculate this. Okay, for that you should be familiar with these reciprocals. Is that clear? I'll tell you where this will also be used. Now let's say you have to find ഈ റെസിപ്രോക്കൽസിന്റെ വേറെ യൂസ് ഞാൻ പറയാം 14.28 percentage of say 14. What is it? What is 14.28 percentage of 14? 2 alle why 14.2? You should also know it. You should also know 1 by 7 as 0.1428, which is also 14.28 percentage. So you should also know that 14.28 percentage is 1 by 7. Whichever is easier, you should be able to use it. So here you can use it as 1 by 7 into 14. You will get it as 2 without even using calculator. Now did you understand the application of these reciprocals? Do you understand the application of these reciprocals? What is 16.66 percentage of 18? Yeah. So again, you should know 1 by 6 as 0.166, and that also is 16.66. When you see 16.66, you should also be able to visualize 1 by 6. You should also be able to think 16.66 percentage as 1 by 6. Clear? So learn these reciprocals, all of them. This will make your life easier. So again here, you should know 1 by 23 as point not 4 to, or you should know 1 by 3 as 4.34 percentage. When you see 4.34 percentage, you should also be able to write it as 1 by 23. Clear? So for next one, a percent of b. That is when you are saying 20 question with say 25% of 75. E of is nothing but multiplication. That means 25 percentage of 75. 25% is nothing but 25 by 100 into 75, which is 1 by 4, which is 75 by 4. 75 by 4 is nothing but 1. You will have 3 here. You will have 18 point. You will have another 3, 18.75. Clear? Now what is this? 75 percentage of 25. The other way. So again, same 75 by 100 into 25. You can cancel this 25 and this 100. You will get 4 here. you will again get 75 by 4, which is same as, which is 18.75. That means a percent of b is equal to b percent of a. That is 10% of 20 is also equal to 20% of 10. Clear? 20% of 10. Is the concept clear? Yes? Okay. Can you guys try solving this? Try solving all three questions. Guys, be quicker. As you solve each question, just post the answers here. I'll give you. I'll give all of you 1 more minute. Those who are completed can take 1 minute rest. Others try to complete. Half a minute more. I can see that only Ashna and Gesla have posted all three answers. What about others? Dishil, Nandakrishna, Eva. Are you guys able to follow? Are you guys able to solve this? Okay, let's start. So ഈ പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ റെസിപ്രോക്കൽസ് അറിയാമെങ്കിൽ യു വിൽ നോ 33%. യു വിൽ നോ വൺസ് യു ലേൺ ദിസ് യു വിൽ നോ 33% ആസ് 1/3. 1/3 into 96. Very easy cancellation. You'll get 332. 32 as the answer. Okay, I'm going to show you guys the fastest way of doing these questions. Now, what is told here? Second question. Total 824 balls, out of which 12.5 are defective. You are asked to find non-defective balls. Same. Again. So what you can do? Fastest way is 824 balls under 824. Again, if you know 12.5 as 1 by 8, 824 into 1 by 8, you will know that this is 103. That means there are 103 defective balls. Remove 103 from 824, you will get 721. 721 are non-defective balls. Clear? Another way of doing this was, again, 824 balls, 824 balls, defective 12.5 percentage ആണെങ്കിൽ ബാക്കിയെല്ലാം non defective. Okay, 100 in 12.5 എടുത്താ you will get 87.5 percentage. So non defective percentage of balls that are non defective is 87.5 percentage. So 824 in the 87.5 percentage. Idipo, if you try to calculate, you will need a calculator at least. Okay, you will need a calculator is ചെയ്യാൻ where you will take more time. But if you know this, if you know that 87.5 is 12.5 less than 100, you can write this as 7 by 8. And similarly, instead of we just wrote this as 1 by 8. The same thing that we are doing, you can write as 7 by 8. You will get it as 874 into 7 by 8. Either cancel you will get it as 1, sorry, 824, 103. 103 into 7, you will get it as 103 into 7 is again, what is it? 103 into 7, 100 into 7 is 700 plus 3 into 7, so 721. Okay, fastest way of doing it was take 1 by 8, that is 12.5 defective as 1 by 8, remove 1 by 8 from this. That is, you can either do it as into 7 by 8, or you can do it as, you can find 1 by 8 and then remove that number from this 825. Clear? Is that clear? Everyone, please tell me yes. Is the fastest method, was it clear? Did you guys also solve it this way? Those who got the answer? Okay. Now, third question. Third question is 20% of a number when subtracted from 108 gives the number itself. Find the number. So you need to find this number which you don't know. So can we call it as x? So here you're involving the concept of equation formation, equation solving along with percentages. Okay. So what is told? 20% of a number, that is 20% of x. When you subtract this from 108, that means 108 minus 20% of x gives you, what do you get? The number itself. That is, you get x. Okay, so what is told? What is told here? 108 is equal to ഇത് ഇങ്ങോട്ട് കൊണ്ടുപോവാണ്, you'll get it as x plus 20%. അല്ലേ? X plus 20% of x. Clear? Now can you write this x as 100% of x? Okay, full x ഇല്ലേ? 100% of x plus e remaining, that is 20% of x. Can we write this as, can we add these two? Can we add these two and write it as 120% of x? Can we do that? We can do that, right? So 108 is equal to 120%. Can I write it as 120 by 100 of x? Now if I want this x alone, I have to take this side. If I'm taking it this side, what should I do? I can write it as 108 into 100 divided by 120 to be equal to x. Okay, now if you know 108 is a multiple of 12, 120 is also a multiple of 12, you can get this as 9, you will get this as 10, you can cancel 10, you will get x to be equal to 90. Is that clear? X to be equal to 90. For those of you who are still not knowing how to take from the LHS to RHS or RHS to LHS. When I told you, if it was some number, let's say if it was 108 equal to 12 times x, what would you do? You will take this 12 this side by dividing 108 by 12, right? So you would have written it as 108 by 12 is equal to x. That is exactly what you're doing here, just that in this case it is fractions, right? So since it's fraction, what you're doing is 108 is equal to 120 by 100 xln. So to find x, what you would do, x is equal to 108 divided by 120 by 100. Division of fractions we just learned now. So this will become 108 into 100 by 120. When you're comfortable enough, what you can do is you can eliminate this step and you can directly write it as 108 into 100 by 120 is x. Is that clear? There is also another way of doing it. It's a similar one, and that is nothing but when you got this one, right? 80, sorry, when you got it as 108, 108 minus 20% of x is equal to x. The moment you see this, you should be able to write it as 108 is equal to 1.2x. I'll tell you why. Again, you know that this minus 20% will become plus 20%, and 100% plus 20% is going to be 120%. 120% is nothing but 120 by 100, which is nothing but 1.2. Alle? Correct, alle? So 108 you can write it as 1.2x. 108 equal to 1.2x, so you will get x to be equal to 108 divided by 1.2. So there is no correct way of calculating or something. This might be shorter way of calculating for somebody. If it is shorter way, try to do that. Again, if you want to do this, what you can do, you can write it as 1080 divided by 12. If you're taking decimal here, and cancel this out, you will get it as 90. Clear? Whichever is faster for you, do it that way. Now find this one. Try to do this in the fastest way you can do, because now you're comfortable with percentages. Find the percentage value of 53 out of 81, the fastest way you can do. There is only one answer. What about others? ഒരാൾക്ക് മാത്രമേ ആൻസർ കിട്ടിയുള്ളൂ, ബാക്കി ആൾക്കാർക്ക് ആർക്കും കിട്ടിയിട്ടില്ല ഇതുവരെ. Those who didn't get answer, just type no. Come on, fast. Those who didn't get answer, just type no. Okay, one no കിട്ടി. ബാക്കി ആൾക്കാർക്ക് ആൻസറും കിട്ടിയില്ല. ആൻസർ നോ ഓൾസോ ഇല്ല. അപ്പൊ വാട്ട് ഷുഡ് ഐ അണ്ടർസ്റ്റാൻഡ്? വാട്ട് ഷുഡ് ഐ അണ്ടർസ്റ്റാൻഡ്? Okay, let's do this. See, what is told? What is the percentage value of 53 out of 81? Correct? But ശരിക്കും നോക്കുവാണെങ്കിൽ how do you calculate this? Simple, 53 divided by 81 into 100%. ഇത് എല്ലാവർക്കും കിട്ടിയിട്ടുണ്ടാവും. But the reason you had so much delay was maybe calculating 53 out of 81. Correct? One way of doing this, if you had calculator, you can simply take calculator and you can solve this. You'll get the answer. But here, if you look at the question, you have options given, right? Why can't you make use of them? Why can't you make use of options? Now, what one thought, how your thought process has to work? 53 out of 81. Try to think, okay, where is it going to be? You don't have to come at the exact answer, accurate answer. Think about where is it going to be? Like, what is it going to be close to? You know, 81 out of 81's half of 81 is 40.5. അല്ലേ? 40.5. That means 40.5 ആയിരുന്നെങ്കിൽ 50% ആയ ആൻസർ. But the value is above 40.5. So you know the answer is going to be above 50%. Clear? അല്ലേ? The moment you get to know that, can you eliminate option A and option B? Now you have two left. And there, if you look at them, they are quite far apart. There is like a difference of 20%, almost 20% in between. So you have to figure out, is it going to be close to 65 or is it going to be close to 84? And then you can directly mark the answer. Okay, you don't have to find the exact value. Make use of the options. So if you look at this, ഇതിൽ 53 40.5 ഞാൻ റിമൂവ് ചെയ്യാം. So I'll have another 12.5 left. Clear? So 50 percentage I know is definitely there. ഇനി ഇതിന്റെ മുകളിൽ how much is there is what I have to find out. That is going to be 12.5 by 81. അല്ലേ? ഇതിന്റെ പെർസെൻറ്റേജ് ആണ് കണ്ടുപിടിക്കേണ്ടത്. 81ന്റെ 10% എത്രയായിരിക്കും? 81ന്റെ 10% 8.1 അല്ലേ? അപ്പോൾ ഈ 12.5 ഒരു 8.1 കൂടി ഇല്ലേ? Can you remove that 8.1 and write, okay, I know that 50 mold or 10% is also definitely there. Correct? So ഇതിൽ 8.1 remove, you will get 4.4 left. Okay, clear? But by now you know that your answer is definitely be going to be above 60%. Clear? And plus 60% plus 4.4 by 81 into 100%. അല്ലേ? അപ്പോൾ ഇപ്പോൾ again if you see 4.4, again you know that 10% of 81 is 8.1. But do you have 8.1 in this? Do you have 8.1? ഇല്ലല്ലോ, അത്ര ഇല്ലല്ലോ, 4.4 അല്ലേ ഉള്ളൂ. That means you know your answer is going to be between 60% and 70%. Clear? ഇത് കിട്ടിയ, now do you have to find the exact value? You don't have to find the exact value. If you look at the options, you have only one option which is between 60% and 70%, and you can mark it. Clear? So in CAT, Out of 22 questions, close to 18, 17 to 18 questions, you will have options. Okay, so ഇങ്ങനത്തെ ഒരു question വരുമ്പോൾ anyway they are not going to ask you value of this one, but when you come at a place where you have to, the answer is percentage value of 53 by 81, rather than going and calculating and wasting time, in your mind you can see, okay, it is above 4, it's above 40.1, okay, that means the answer is going to be above 50 percentage. Eliminate option A, option B. Now, do I have another one, 8.1? Yes, there is 8.1 in it. Okay, the answer is going to be above 60 percentage. Do I have one more 8.1? No, I do not have one more 8.1. That means the answer is going to be between 60 to 70 percentage. The option that is there is option D, 65.45 percentage. Is that clear? Now, ഇനിയിപ്പോ ഓപ്ഷൻ ഇല്ലെങ്കിലും let's say your friend comes to you and tells you, you know what, there was a class test out of 81 mark, അതിൽ എനിക്ക് 53 മാർക്സ് കിട്ടി, എടാ ഒരു ഏകദേശം എത്ര പെർസെൻറ്റേജ് ആണെന്ന് പറയുമെന്ന് ചോദിച്ചാൽ, ആൻഡ് ലെറ്റ്സ് സേ യു ഡോണ്ട് ഹാവ് കാൽക്കുലേറ്റർ ഓൾസോ വിത്ത് യു. Let's say you don't even have calculator with you. Okay, you're going to approach the same way. You mentally, you don't have pen and paper, you don't have calculator, you have to tell him instantly in around, you have to tell him approximate percentage of 53 out of 81. Again, what you do, out of 53, half of it, off of 81, 40.5 you will remove. You know that it is above 50 percentage, and you know that the remaining you have 12.4. 12.4 you will remove another 8.1, so you know that it is above 60 percentage. Now you know 4.4 is there. 4.4 out of 81, you know there is if not 10, if not 8.1, there is 4.05 in it. 4.05 is half of 8.5, 8.1. That means half of 10%, that is 5% is also there. Correct, there is 5% also in it. So otherwise you will add and go, okay, 50% is there, then another 10% is there, then another 5% is there, then you will tell him, okay, it is around 65 percentage. Is that clear? The more and more you think like this and develop that thinking for the next 8 months, you will be really good at quantitative aptitude. And if you develop the smartness to use options like this, and then instead of wasting time on calculating the exact value, if you develop that smartness to figure out the answer this way, you're almost looking at 85 to 90%, 90 percentile in cat. Okay, this is what you have to develop in the next 7 to 8 months. So anytime when you're simply sitting, when you're not doing anything, just keep thinking about numbers, keep thinking about random calculations and how we are going to do it mentally. Is that clear, guys? Is this clear? And was this approach much better than calculating 53 by 81, like literally by doing 53 by 81? Okay, two of them are telling yes. What about others? Are you still not happy with this? If you have any doubt, you can ask me. If you have any doubt, you can ask me right away. Okay. Now, there are two things. Okay. One is there is this concept of percentage change. Let's say a value changes from 40 to 60. Let's say a stock price of 40 rupees changes to 60 rupees today. Now, somebody asks you, what is a percentage change? What is a percentage change? So in this, what you do is, when you want to find the percentage change, what you do is, the change here is 20 rupees, correct? Percentage change is going to be the change which is 20 divided by original value, which is 40 into 100 percentage, which is going to be 50 percentage. Clear? So when somebody says, okay, start of this month, stock price of, let's say, ഏതെങ്കിലും ഇപ്പോൾ stock price of Anandakrishna is working in Infosys. Let's say stock price of Infosys at the beginning of March was 40 rupees and at the end of March was 60 rupees. What was the percentage change in stock price of Infosys? Okay, what you do in that case, you take the change, you take the increase or decrease. In this case, there is an increase of 20 rupees. 20 divided by original, what is the start price? 40. 40 into 100 percentage. Clear? You say that the stock price increased by 50 percentage. ശരിയല്ലേ? 40 to 60 നോക്കുമ്പോൾ 50% of 40 and the 20 അപ്പോൾ ആ അത്രയും 20 അല്ലേ കൂടിയേക്കുന്നത്. So 50% അല്ലേ കൂടിയേക്കുന്നത്. That means it became 50 percentage increase. 50 percentage increase means what? നേരത്തെ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്ന വാല്യൂ, whole of that value, that is going to be 100%. Whole of something is 100%, correct? 100% plus ഒരു 50% കൂടി അല്ലേ? That means the final value became 150% of the initial value. 150, that means the final value became 1.5 times the initial value. Is that clear? Correct അല്ലേ? If you look at this, 1.5 times 40 is 60. Clear? So this is called percentage change. Okay, when you have any change, any change in value, we generally calculate percentage change. Okay, now here if you see in the same example 40 to 60, what is the absolute change? Absolute change is the exact value change. Absolute change is 20. Okay, why percentage change is important? Again, it is in comparison, similar to our comparison that we did in the mark. Let's say there was two stocks, Infosys and TCS. Now Infosys went from 40 to 60. Let's say TCS went from 60 rupees to 80 rupees. Now if somebody asks you which one out of Infosys and TCS, which one performed better in stock market, right? Again, if you see absolute change is again 20 and 20. Can you say they performed equally well? No. Why? Because the initial value is different, correct? So you will find the percentage change and you will get this one as 50 percentage, just like how we calculated earlier. This one you will get it as 33.33 percentage TCS. That is 20 divided by 60 into 100 percentage is going to be 33.33 percentage. So Infosys performed better. Correct. Again, we use percentage change to compare again. For comparison, we use percentage change. Otherwise, you have to tell people to compare. You see, Infosys increased by 20 out of 40 initial price, and TCS increased by 20 out of 16 initial price. This gets complicated. Instead of that, if somebody asks you, you can simply say Infosys went up by 50%, TCS went up by 33%. Is that clear? This is percentage change. Okay. The absolute change was 20 in this case. In this case, percentage change was 50 percentage. Why? Because where you start or where the stock started is also important to determine performance of the stock. Okay. So absolute change, it is the actual change in the measured quantity, which was 20. Percentage changes. So what now can we write percentage change as absolute value change, which was 20 divided by original quantity. You didn't do 20 out of 60 for Infosys. Instead, you did 20 out of 40. Why? Because you always compare it with the original state, the initial state before the change happened. So 20 out of 40 into 100 percentage, which was 50 percentage in our case. Okay, now look at the example that is mentioned here. For instance, if a sales in a year is 2500 crores, in year 1 is 2500 crore and sales in year 2 is 2600 crores, then the absolute value changes 100 crores. Alle? Sales increase from year 1 to year 2 by 100 crores. And by what percentage? It is by 100 divided by initial sale, which was 2500 into 100 percentage, which is 4%. So you can say the sales grew by 4 percentage from year 1 to year 2. Okay, now can you find this? Okay, let's do this. What is told? Percentage change. When they simply mention percentage change, they always refer it to the change with respect to the initial value. So in this case, from 20 lakhs it went to 22 lakhs. So the change is 2 lakh divided by 20 lakh, right? Initial change into 100 percentage, which is 10 percentage. And when you have to reach a point where the moment you see this, you should be able to tell it as 10 percentage, because you don't need this amount of calculation to do. Okay, you see that there is 2 out of 20 you should know as 20 10 percentage, and you should be able to say that the increase is 10% without even touching your pen and paper. Okay. Now, second question, what is asked? Percentage change based on final value of population. They are specifically told based on final value. So the base has to be final value. So again, the change is 2 divided by 22 into 100 percentage. Okay. This, if you know, this is going to be 1 by 11, and you should know 1 by 11, as I told you, 1 by 11 is 0.0909, which is also nothing but 9.09 percentage. Those who solved it, did you use this, Ashna and Dishil? Nandakrishnan, did you use this, or did you do the calculation? Sorry. Okay, you use this, so that's great. So once you get more and more comfortable, your speed is going to increase a lot. This is what we need in cat as well. Okay, is that clear? Now, one more term, it is also very easy concept. Percentage change, we already learned. We already learned percentage change, which is the change divided by initial value into 100. Okay. Now there is one more similar term which might be confusing at some time, or you should be very careful when you read the question. That is percentage point change. That means, what if the initial values were already in percentages? If you read this example, the savings rate as a percentage of GDP was 25% in the initial first year and 30 percentage in the second year. Okay. So GDP has remained constant. Only the savings rate has changed from 25% to 30 percentage. Idinde, when we say percentage point change, we are referring to each change in percentage. That is 25%, 30% ആയതിന്റെ percentage points എത്ര change ആയി. That is 5 percentage points. Okay. You don't even write it as 5 percentage, you write it as 5 percentage points. But what was the percentage change in savings rate എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ, you again go to the change, which is 5 divided by 25 initial value into 100, which is nothing but 25%. That means the savings rate grew by 25%. Okay. In this hypothetical, what to say, coincidentally, the values are also in percentages which have changed. Clear? Percentage point change in this case is going to be 5 percentage point. Percentage change is going to be 25%. Is that clear? Yes or no? Okay. Let's say you are given. Okay, I'll give you. I'll tell it in another way. Let's say you are told. One second. Let's say A had scored 80 percentage in the board exam, but he was not happy with it, and he gave for revaluation. Okay. Now, after evaluation, it was found that they hadn't corrected one paper, one sheet in his answer sheet. So, once they reevaluated, his marks went up. So, when we say, okay, now after evaluation, his percentage increased by 10 percentage, 10 percentage, sorry, 10 percentage points. Okay, this is one option A. One guy comes and says his percentage increased by 10 percentage points. Option B, somebody else comes and says his percentage increased by 10 percentage. Okay, if the random same alla, you won't get the same answer. Okay, When you say percentage point increase, we will say that this 80 percentage became 90 percentage. Clear or either? 10 points kudi kudi out of 80 from 80. Okay, this is 90 percentage. But when we say his percentage increased by 10 percentage, what we mean is 80 percentage in the 10% kudi kudi എന്ന് പറയും. That means it is going to be 88 percentage. Clear or no? So when you want to tell that the percentage in the absolute change is 10, if you tell 10% change, it is going to be confusing. So you say 10 percentage point change. So it changed by 10 percentage points. Okay? When you say this, it gives a different meaning. Clear or neither? This will clear or no? Okay. Fine. Now, ഇപ്പം നമ്മൾ എന്തായാലും ആ പെർസെൻറ്റേജ് ചേഞ്ചിലോട്ട് വന്നില്ലേ ഇൻക്രീസ് ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് we can say that 10% or let's say we can say the increase also in terms of percentages, right? Up, let's say increase 40 by 20 percentage. Can you do this? Increase 40 by 20 percentage. Just do this. Increase 40 by 20 percentage. 48. Okay. So increase 40 by 20 percentage പറയുമ്പോൾ what we say is the initial 40 is already there. അതിന്റെ കൂടെ add 20 percentage of 40. Okay. So one way of doing this is okay 40 plus 20 percentage of 40. What is 10 percentage of 40? It is 4. 20 percentage of 40 is going to be 2 times 4, which is 8. So 40 plus 8, you get it as 48. Okay, this is one way. This is a conventional way of doing. But if you look at this, regardless of what this is, what the value is, now forget about 40 here. Regardless of what value, let's say it is x. Okay, regardless of any value, when you say something increased by 100 or by 20%, what you say is keep that 100% of that thing there, that means the whole of that item, plus add another 20 percentage. Is that clear? That means let's say if the number was x, 100% of x plus 20% of x. Clear? 100% and the 100% is nothing but 100 by 100 alle, which is nothing but 1. So that means 1 into x is going to be x. So keep x there and add 20% of x. What is 20%? What is 20%? 20 by 100, which is nothing but zero point 0.2. alle. So zero point 0.2 times x. അപ്പോൾ ഇതിൽ എക്സ് കോമൺ ആയിട്ട് എടുക്കാമല്ലോ, പുറത്ത് എടുക്കാമല്ലോ, കോമൺ അല്ലേ? സോ ക്യാൻ ഐ ടേക്ക് എക്സ് ഔട്ട്സൈഡ് ആൻഡ് റൈറ്റ് ഇറ്റ് ആസ് ഇതിന്ന് ഇഫ് ഐ ടേക്ക് എക്സ് ഔട്ട്സൈഡ് ക്യാൻ ഐ റൈറ്റ് ഇറ്റ് ആസ് എക്സ് ഇൻറ്റു ഇവിടെ വൺ ടൈം എക്സ് അല്ലേ, 1 into x അല്ലേ, എക്സിന്ന് എക്സ് തന്നെ പുറത്തെടുത്ത് യു വിൽ ജസ്റ്റ് ഹാവ് 1 ഇയർ 1 പ്ലസ് 0.2 which is nothing but 1.2 times x അല്ലേ? Now regardless of whether the value was 40 or 50 or 60, the answer is going to be 1.2 times that because there is an increase in 20%. Okay, is that clear? ഈ 1.2 എങ്ങനെ വന്ന്, what if it was 30%? If it was 30%, it would be 1.3 1.3 times the initial value. Okay, so 20% 30% increase പറയുമ്പോൾ it is 1 plus point something, so that many times the initial value. Is that clear? So this case, instead of doing all the other thing finding 20% of this, if you simply do 40 into 1.2, you get 48, which is the 20% increase from 40. Is that clear? This is very useful. This is going to be very useful to you guys once we start speed distance time, especially speed distance time. Why? We'll say that okay, speed went up by 10 percentage, you would do 1.1 times the initial speed. Is this clear? Guys, is it clear? Yes or no? I just got one yes. Does that mean it's not clear for others? And then doubt and help, please ask me. Because these are all basic building concepts which is going to help you throughout the section, quant section. Okay. Now, similar to increase, a decrease is going to be the other way. Let's say 40%, 20% decrease is going to be what you mean is have initially take 100% of that item, 100% of X, and then remove 20%. Remove 20%, remember, minus 20% of X. If I take X outside, I'll get 1 minus zero point 0.2, which is nothing but zero point 0.8 times X. Is that clear? Is that clear? Okay. Now a last thing, percentage change into the percentage increase and down, percentage decrease and down. If you want to find percentage increase, it is going to be final value minus initial value, which is the change, the absolute change, divided by initial value into 100 percentage. Okay. Percentage decrease is going to be just a small change here. It is going to be initial value minus final value. Why? Because the initial value is going to be greater than final value when there is a percentage decrease. Okay. When the item has decreased, the initial value is going to be greater than final value, but the base is always going to be final value into 100 percentage. Why we are doing this is if you do final value minus initial value, you will get it in negatives. But because you're already telling percentage decrease, you're already telling them that there is a decrease. Again, you don't have to show negative there. Okay. You're already telling them there is a decrease. So that means if number went from 48 to 40, if you're asked to find percentage decrease, then it is going to be 48 initial value minus final value 40 divided by initial value, which is 48 into 100 percentage. Okay. Why? Because you're already mentioning decrease in the term, you're already telling percentage decrease, then you don't have to show a negative value there. Can you guys solve this? Try solving both the questions. Okay, fine. So first question, if the price of an article is increased by 20% and later the new price is decreased by 20%, ശരിക്കും നോക്കിയ 20% increase and 20% decrease ചെയ്ത we have to come back to the same place, right? If they are told that the final price is 1440, then the original price also has to be 1440. Is that correct? That won't happen. Why? I'll tell you. It is not correct. Why? Because if you have, let's say, x, okay, you increase it by 20%, okay, 20 percentage increase, you will come at 1.2 times x. Now when you decrease by 20 percentage, you won't come back to x. Okay, this is the concept that I want to make it clear. You won't come back to x. Okay, you won't come back. Instead, if you do 20% reduction, what is it going to be? 20% reduction in terms of x, it is going to be 1.2 ആണ് ഇപ്പോൾ സ്റ്റാർട്ടിംഗ് വാല്യൂ റിഡക്ഷൻ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ 1.2 ഇൻറ്റു 0.8 അല്ലേ, കറക്റ്റ് അല്ലേ? 1.2 ഇൻറ്റു 0.8, അപ്പോൾ 1.2 ഇൻറ്റു 0.8 എത്രയാണ് വരുന്നത്? If you calculate, it is going to be around 0.96. Okay, so ഇവിടുന്ന് 20% താഴ്ത്തുമ്പോൾ, because this becomes the higher value becomes the original value now, the start value. So the percentage drop, like when you drop by the same percentage, 20 percentage, the value, absolute value is going to be larger. Okay, so it is going to come back here, which is 0.96x. Okay, you won't come back to x. This is something I want to make clear. When you increase and decrease by same percentage, you won't come back to the same number. You will come back to something less than the same number, the previous number. Okay, is that clear? So ഇവിടെ ഇപ്പൊ conventional way of doing this is, let's take the initial value to be x, increase it by 20%, that is going to be 1.2. You still don't know that value, you can keep it like this. Either when you reduce by zero point 0.8, when you reduce by 20 percentage, it becomes zero point 0.8. This thing is equal to 1440. So what? കാണുന്നില്ലേ? One second. എവിടം വരെ കണ്ടായിരുന്നു? എവിടം വരെ കണ്ടിരുന്നു? Okay, 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 I'll reshare you. Is it visible now? Uh, is it visible now? Okay, and ഒരു പ്രാവശ്യം കൂടി repeat ചെയ്യാം because you guys didn't see this. Okay, what I was telling is, if we start from a point, let's say x, okay, and increase it by 20 percentage, okay, I'm marking it like this, increase by 20 percentage, you will come to 1.2x, അല്ലേ കറക്റ്റ് അല്ലേ നമ്മൾ നേരത്തെ പഠിച്ചത് 1.2x ക്ലിയർ ഇനി ഇവിടുന്ന് ഇനി ഇവിടുന്ന് നമ്മൾ 20% റെഡ്യൂസ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ വി വിൽ നോട്ട് കം ബാക്ക് ടു എക്സ്. Okay, we will not come back to x. Instead, we will go back to a value which is less than x. ഇത് എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണ് ഇങ്ങനെ ആവുന്നത്? എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണ് ഇങ്ങനെ ആവുന്നത്? So what is going to be if I reduce this by 20 percentage? Now the initial value is 1.2x. Okay, 1.2x, not x. So initial value is 1.2x, and ഇതിന്റെ 20% ആണ് reduce ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്. 1.2 is already a larger number compared to x. അല്ലേ? 1.2 is already larger than x. That means 20% of 1.2 is going to be more than 20% of x which we increased. നമ്മൾ നേരത്തെ increase ചെയ്ത 20% of x increase ചെയ്തത്. പക്ഷെ now we are reducing 20% of 1.2x, which is going to be a larger value. So you are going to go less than x. Okay, I'll tell you why that happens. We already have 120 percentage of x അല്ലേ? After increase it has become 120 percentage of x. ഇതിന്റെ ഇനി 20% reduce ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ if I again split this as 100 percentage of x plus 20 percentage of x, this whole thing when I reduce by 20, when I reduce by 20 percentage, I'll reduce it by 20 percentage of 100% of x, which is what we initially increased. Initial increase value എത്രയായിരുന്നു? 20 percentage of 100 percentage, that is whole of x അല്ലേ? whole of x ആയിരുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ ഇപ്പോൾ റെഡ്യൂസ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ 20% വെച്ച് റെഡ്യൂസ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ യു ആർ ഗോയിങ് ടു റെഡ്യൂസ് 20% of whole of x, plus you are going to reduce 20% of 20% of x again, that 20% that went up initially, that is also going to add up here. So you will reduce to less than x. Is that clear? Is that clear? Confusing ayo, or is it clear? Yes or no? Please drop yes or no. So what I am saying is 1.2 in the 20% reduce ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ you're going to get 1.2x into zero point 0.8, which is equal to 0.96x. So you didn't come at x, you went to a value that was less than, that is less than x, which is 0.96x. Okay, is that clear? So this is something I want to prove using this question. This is a concept I want to prove. If you increase and decrease by the same percentage, you don't come back to the same, you don't come back to the same number, initial number. You come back to a number less than initial number. And that അതിന്റെ ഒരു shortcut also I'll tell you. But ഇപ്പോൾ ഈ question, if you didn't know any of this and you simply wanted to solve it conventionally, also you can do it. That is, initial value, if I take it as x was increased by 20 percentage, so 1.2x, and this I think value arilla, it is still, I'll write it as 1.2x. This has to be reduced by 20 percentage, that means this number into zero point 0.8. If you open the brackets, you will get it as 0.8 into 1.2x, which is 0.96x, and this is equal to 1440. So x is going to be 1440 divided by 0.96. Is that clear? One point, this വേണമെങ്കിൽ what you can do, you can cancel 12 out of this. You will get, you will get 120 divided by 0 point, this is going to be 8 അല്ലേ? 0.8, sorry, 0.08. The answer is going to be 1500. അല്ലേ? Correct? Is that clear? Guys, is it clear? Now, ആ 20% റിഡക്ഷൻ ആണല്ലോ ഇവിടെ 0.8 ആയിട്ട് എഴുതിയത്. മൾട്ടിപ്ലൈ ചെയ്യും. ഇപ്പൊ നേരത്തെ നമ്മൾ പെർസെൻറ്റേജ് റിഡക്ഷനിൽ അങ്ങനെയല്ല ചെയ്തത്. പെർസെൻറ്റേജ് റിഡക്ഷനിൽ വെൻ യു ഹാഡ് ടു റെഡ്യൂസ് 20% ഫ്രം 40, വാട്ട് ഡിഡ് വി ഡു? ഇതല്ലേ ചെയ്തത്? 40 × 0.8 അല്ലേ ചെയ്തത്? ആ സെയിം തിങ് അല്ലേ ഇവിടെ ചെയ്യുന്നത്. That means ഇവിടെ only thing is you didn't know this value. You don't know this value, so you're still writing it as 1.2x. അതിന്റെ മൾട്ടിപ്ലൈ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ you do 0.8 into 0.8. See, when you multiply something with a number less than 1, you're effectively the answer is going to be reducing the number. മനസ്സിലായോ? വണ്ണിന്റെ കാട്ടും കൂടുതലുള്ള നമ്പർ വെച്ച് മൾട്ടിപ്ലൈ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ യു ആർ ഗോയിങ് ടു ഇൻക്രീസ് ദ നമ്പർ. വണ്ണിന്റെ കാട്ടും കുറവായിട്ടുള്ള നമ്പർ വെച്ച് മൾട്ടിപ്ലൈ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ യു ആർ ഗോയിങ് ടു റെഡ്യൂസ് ദ നമ്പർ. Is that clear? Now, are they same thing? When you saw that 20 percentage increase and അത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് 20% റിഡക്ഷൻ ആകുമ്പോൾ you got the final value of 0.96x, which is nothing but 0.96x എന്താ ഇപ്പോൾ in terms of percentage change? What is 0.96x in terms of percentage change from x? Anyone? നമ്മൾ ഈ ചെയ്ത കൺസെപ്റ്റ് ഇല്ലേ, പെർസെൻറ്റേജ് റിഡക്ഷനിൽ ചെയ്ത കൺസെപ്റ്റ് ഇല്ലേ, ഇവിടെ 20% ആയതുകൊണ്ട് 0.8 ആയിട്ട് മൾട്ടിപ്ലൈ ചെയ്യും. വാട്ട് ഇഫ് ഇറ്റ് വാസ് 4% റിഡക്ഷൻ? ഡിക്രീസ് 40/4%. അപ്പൊ എന്ത് ചെയ്യും? ഡിക്രീസ് എനി നമ്പർ ബൈ 4% ആകുമ്പോൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യും ദിസ് മെത്തേഡ്? അല്ല, 0.25 അല്ല, 4%. യെസ്, 1 മൈനസ് 0.04, വിച്ച് ഇസ് നത്തിങ് ബട്ട് 0.96 അല്ലേ? അല്ലേ? ദാറ്റ് മീൻസ് 4% റെഡ്യൂസ് എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ യു ആർ റിമൂവിങ് 4%. ദാറ്റ് മീൻസ് വൺ വേ ഓഫ് തിങ്കിങ് ഇസ് 100% ഉണ്ടെന്ന് വിചാരിച്ചോ, അതിൽ നിന്ന് 4% റിമൂവ് ചെയ്യും. ദാറ്റ് മീൻസ് 96% ഓഫ് സംതിങ് അല്ലേ, വിച്ച് ഇസ് നത്തിങ് ബട്ട് 0.96 ഓഫ് സംതിങ്. കറക്റ്റ്? യെസ് ഓർ നോ? ഇസ് ദിസ് ക്ലിയർ? Guys, just type yes if this is clear. 4% reduction. Why is 4% reduction 0.96 something? Clear. So now, whenever you see 4% reduction, you should be able to write it as 0.96 of something of x, let's say x. And whenever you see 0.96 of x, you should be able to write it as 4%. You should be able to see it as 4% drop. Both the ways. Clear? അങ്ങനെയാണെങ്കിൽ ഇവിടെ ഇപ്പോൾ when you saw it is 0.96x, can we write it as 4% drop of x? Correct അല്ലേ? Can we write it as 4% drop? Regardless of what the value of x is, if you say 0.96 of something, it means 4% down. Clear? Clear ആണെങ്കിൽ എല്ലാവരും ഒന്ന് ക്ലിയർ ടൈപ്പ് ചെയ്തേ, എവ്രി വൺ ഹു ഇസ് പ്രസന്റ്. ഇല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഐ വോണ്ട് ടു എക്സ്പ്ലെയിൻ അഗൈൻ, ദാറ്റ്സ് വൈ. Others? ഇനി ആരെങ്കിലും ഉണ്ടോ? ഗസ്ല. Okay. Nowadays. Fine. So now what I'm saying is, how did we get this thing? 0.96, because it was 20 percentage increase and 20 percentage reduction. So when any quantity increases by a 4 percentage is nothing but, ശരിക്കും നോക്കിയാൽ 4 percentage is nothing but 24 percentage എന്താ ശരിക്കും 4 percentage is 0.04, which is nothing but 0.2 into 0.2, which is nothing but 20 percentage into 20 percentage. This 20 percentage is coming from the initial increase in 20 percentage. This decrease is coming from decrease in 20 percentage. That means it is nothing but 20 percentage square, or 20 by 100 square. So now next time, okay, 20. So this 20 and this 20 together, when you multiply, you get 20 percentage square, alle? So 20 percentage square is nothing but this thing, point 0.2, point 0.2 square, which is nothing but 0.04. You have to go all the way, same, it's going, you're going in a circle now. Okay, it is nothing but 0.04. That means if I generalize this without putting values for percentage change, can I say that when something is increased by X percentage and decreased by X percentage again, the final answer is going to be down, it is going to be reduced, the resultant is going to be down by X percentage square. That means 20 by 100 square, which is final answer is going to be 4 percentage down. Can I tell it like this? So in ഇപ്പൊ 20 അല്ല, what if it goes up by 30 percentage and goes down by 30 percentage? Conventional way you can still do it, 1.3 into, what has happened? Yeah. What if it was up by 30 percentage and down by 30 percentage? Something was there that was increased by 30 percentage and that was decreased by 30 percentage. What is going to be the final value? Now, even without using pen and paper, can you tell me the final value with this, what we just learned now? Anyone? 9 percentage drop alle. So something is increased by 30 percentage and decreased by 30 percentage. The value is going to be, you can generalize and say that the value is going to be down by 30 by 100 square percentage, which is nothing but zero point 0.3 square percentage, which is nothing but 0 point, which is nothing but, sorry, my bad, we shouldn't put this percentage here, which is nothing but 0.09, which is nothing but 9 percentage drop. Okay, 9 percentage drop. So if I generalize and tell you, if I generalize and tell you X percentage increase and X percentage decrease is going to be, the answer is going to be X square by 100 percentage. Okay, so in this case X is the value, right? 30 was the value for X, so that means 30 square by 100 percentage, which is nothing but 900 by 100 percentage, which is nothing but 9 percentage. Okay, is this clear? Can you write this down? So this is I mean, see, I never support by hearting a formula. Here, you're not by hearting a formula, you have understood how you're getting this formula, and if you remember it, you're going to be a little bit faster. That's it. Even if you don't remember, it's totally fine. You can still, the way we did initially, you can still do it. It is going to take you another 5 to 10 seconds extra. That's it, nothing much. So, if you don't want to store a lot of formula, by heart a lot of formula, it is still fine. I support it. Don't do that. Okay. Now, what about the second question? Second question, a number is increased by 45 percentage, then it becomes 116, then the number itself. Okay, that means 1.45 times x is equal to 116. That means x is equal to 116 divided by 1.45. Alle? Okay, ഇത് കിട്ടിയായിരുന്നോ? So one way of what you can do is one, if you don't want to use calculator, you can do it like this 45. Okay, you can cancel out fives, or you can cancel, yeah, you can cancel out 5. What do you get here? 29. And this also you get it as 5 cancel away, you get 2, 3, 2, 0. ഇതിപ്പോ ഇത് ആയിട്ട് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ what do you get? You can get this as 80. Get it as 80. The 80 is the answer. I mean, conventionally you can do this. I'm just seeing if there is a easier method. One way, if I wanted to avoid calculation, one way I would do this is 45 percentage increase of x is 116, like that is after increase, so x plus 45 percentage of x is 116. So I'll go by trial and error, but I don't suggest it. Just doing a normal calculation here is I think is a better way. But if I were to do this without doing calculation, without touching pen, I'll just do trial and error. I'll take 145 increase it becomes 145. So I know the answer is less than the value, initial value is less than 100. So now I can take 80 and see 80 saying 80 plus 50 percentage will be 120, that is somewhere close to this. So again I'll try and do 45 percentage, it comes to 116. But I would suggest doing the normal way itself, like basic calculation itself, to be effective here. Can you guys do this? Anyone with the answer? Kitty or no answer? Arkung Kitty will answer. Okay. Okay, shall we try doing? Or do you guys want more time? Okay, so let's read this question. In an in the IPL match, an analysis was done for two openers of both the teams, Delhi Daredevils and Deccan Chargers. Okay, this sentence doesn't give me any much information. Now the next sentence, it was found that two DC openers, that is Gilchrist and Gibbs, together scored 20% more than the two DD openers Sehwag and Gambhir. Okay, so either if you want to represent in the form of an equation. So as I told you, QA questions are nothing but information that is given, which you have to write in the form of an equation and solve it. That's it, right? Appa e information തന്നേക്കുന്ന ഈ ഒരു sentence, can I convert it to an equation? What do I know? Let's say I write GL as Gilchrist and GL's score as Gilchrist score as GL, and GL plus, let's say I write it as Gibbs score as GB. GL plus GB is equal to 20% more. That means 1.2 times that of Sehwag's score plus Gambhir score. Is that clear? Now what is told? Gambhir scored 30, so I can replace this by 30. Gibbs scored 40. That means GL plus 40 is equal to 1.2 times Sehwag score plus 30. Clear? Is that clear? So now if I open the brackets, GL plus 40 is equal to 1.2 times S Sehwag plus 1.2 into 30 is going to be 36. Clear? Is that clear? So now what I can say is GL ಈ 36 ಇಂಗೊಟ್ಕೊಂಡೆ GL plus 4 is equal to 1.2 times S. And next sentence if you read, Gilchrist scored 80. Okay, Gilchrist scored 80. That means I can substitute this as 80. That means 1.2 times Sehwag score is equal to 84. Clear? So Sehwag's score will be equal to 84 divided by 1.2 is 84 divided by 1.2 is how much? 70. So Sehwag's score is 70. Sorry, Sehwag score is 70, but what have they asked here? How much percentage less or more did Sehwag score than Gilchrist? Now we have to compare them. So now it all comes down to Gilchrist score, which is 80, and Sehwag score, which is 70. That means Sehwag has scored less than Gilchrist. Now you have to find the percent. How much percentage is Sehwag score less than Gilchrist? Than Gilchrist. So base is Gilchrist score. And what is the difference? Difference, that is how much has he scored less than Gilchrist? 10 runs less than Gilchrist divided by 80, which is we are comparing with Gilchrist score, so the base has to be Gilchrist score. 10 by 80 into 100 percentage, which by now you should be, the moment you see this, you should be able to write it as 12.5 percentage. Is that clear? Is this clear now? Always, with what you are comparing, the comparison, the base has to be the denominator here. Okay. Now, one last concept I want to teach you guys. Similar to how we told percentage x percentage increase and x percentage decrease. Sorry. ഇതുവരെ ക്ലിയർ അല്ലേ? സേവാഗ് 70 റൺസ് വരെ ക്ലിയർ ആണോ? Okay. 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 GL, that is Gilchrist score plus 4 is equal to 1.2 times Sehwag score. Alle? Clear alle? But if you look at this in the question itself, they have given Gilchrist score to be 80. That means you can write as 80 plus 4 is equal to 1.2 times Sehwag score, which means Sehwag score is 80 plus 4, which is 84 divided by 1.2. Clear or no? Is this clear? So now can I write it as 84 by 1.2 etra? 70 alle. 84 by 1.2 70 alle. Alle. Okay. Appa Sehwag score 70 itti. Ini what they have asked is they haven't asked what is Sehwag score. They have asked how much percentage less or more. Now you know that it is anyway less. So they have asked how much percentage less did Sehwag score than Gilchrist. Okay, after getting this, now you can compare Sehwag score in terms of percentage to anyone in this. You can compare Sehwag score in percentage to Gibbs. You can compare it with in terms of percentage with Gambhir as well. So they have asked how much is it less than Gilchrist. Though than Gilchrist Tombo, the comparison is based on Gilchrist score. That means Gilchrist score has to be in the denominator, which is 80. And how much has he scored less than Gilchrist? 10 runs. Gilchrist 80, Sehwag 70. So 10 by 80 into 100 percentage, which is equal to 1 by 8 of 1 by 8 in percentages is 12.5 percentage. Clear? Clear Ayoipa? Okay. Let's go to another concept. So if there is a consecutive percentage change, that is A percentage and B percentage, then the net change is okay. I let's do this in our usual way. If I increase something by 20 percentage and our result pin and 10 percentage which increase AMBO, let's do it and see. So increase by 20 percentage, it is going to be 1.2 times x. If the pin and 10 percentage increase AMBO, this whole thing into 1.1. Okay. If you expand this, if you open the bracket, you will get it as 1.32 times x, which means it is 32 percentage increase. Total net percentage increase is 32% increase. Okay, this again, if you split it, you will get it as e 20 percentage increase plus 10 percentage increase plus another 2 percentage is there. E 20% is given in question, it is told here. 10 percentage is also told here. This 2 percentage came by multiplying 20 percentage and 10 percentage, similar to what we did in the consecutive reduction, in the x percentage increase and x percentage reduction. Okay, why we are getting that is simple. Initially you're getting 1.32x. Why you're getting this is you are increasing by 20 you have 100% of x, adine 20% which kutumbo you have additional 20 percentage alle. All of this is the pinne 30% again 10 percentage which kutumbo you this thing plus 10 percentage of the new number which is 100 percentage plus 20 percentage alle. So if you open this 100 percentage, the initial one is always there. Adina 20 percentage which kuti plus again another ഈ 10% വെച്ച് കൂട്ടി. ബട്ട് വാട്ട് ഈസ് ഹാപ്പനിങ് ഇസ് ഈ കൂട്ടിയപ്പോൾ ഈ ഒരു 20% കൂടിയുണ്ട്, അപ്പോൾ അതിൻ്റെ 10% ഓൾസോ കൂട്ടണം ഇപ്പോൾ. സോ ഇറ്റ് ബിക്കംസ് 10% ഓഫ് 20% is 2%. So you get the initial value, which is x, plus 20 percentage of x, which is what is told as initial increase, plus 10 percentage of x, which is the second increase, consecutive increase, plus 2 percentage, which is 10 percentage of this 20%. Okay, so you can generalize it and write it in this formula. That means you can say the net change is 20 plus 10 plus 20 into 10 divided by 100. This much percentage we will get it as 32 percentage. Is this clear? Now try solving the question below this. Try solving the question. Okay, so conventional way, if you didn't know this, conventional way is you have X, which is Mahesh's salary, which you don't know the value, 20% of which Kuti, 1.2 times XI. This whole thing again increased by 12%. So now X in the matram 12% ala kootunne, I additional 20% in the 12% which kudu. Okay, so this into 1.12. Okay, this entire thing. So you will get it as 1.344. 1.344x, which means it is 34.4 percentage increase. Okay, this is the conventional way, but if you know this, if you remember this, then you can just do it as 20 plus 12 plus 20 into 12 divided by 100 in the whole percentage. So it is going to be 20 plus 12 is going to be 32. 12 into 20 by 100, what do you get here? You will get 2.4. So 32 plus 2.4 is 34.4 percentage. Clear? See, ഇതൊക്കെ ശരിക്കും ജസ്റ്റ് ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് ജസ്റ്റ് ദാറ്റ് ഒരു പെർട്ടിക്കുലർ ഫോർമുല ഈ ഫോർമുല യൂസ് ചെയ്താൽ തന്നെ യൂസ് ചെയ്താൽ മാത്രം കിട്ടുന്ന ആൻസർ കിട്ടുന്നല്ല. ദ ബേസ് ഇസ് ദിസ് വൺ. ഓക്കെ, ദ ബേസ് ഇസ് എനിവേ ദിസ്. ഇഫ് യു ഡു ദിസ് യു ഗെറ്റ് ദിസ്. ഓക്കെ, you get this answer. പക്ഷെ ഇത് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ you can shorten and generalize it in this way and you will get this formula. If you want you can use this, if you don't want don't use it, do it this way. If you can remember, just do this. Is that clear, everyone? I can see that two people got the answer, the other two others who are there, is this clear? So this is the concept of consecutive increase. Okay, similarly ഇത് നമ്മൾ ഓൾറെഡി ഇപ്പൊ പഠിച്ചതല്ലേ, we already learned this, right? Read this. If the price of the commodity is increased by 25% and then decreased by 25%, what is the net percentage change? Can you quickly answer this? Can you quickly answer? What is it going to be? 25 square by 100 percentage of that percent. So 25 square is 625 divided by 100. It is going to be, the answer is going to be 6.25 percentage reduction. Net percentage changes 6.25 percentage down or drop. Clear? Okay, can you do the next question? Can you try solving the next question? Okay, anyone else with the answer? Okay, let's solve. So what is told? The price of a pen is increased by 33.3 percentage. Find the percentage to which the price should be reduced in order to bring the price to the original price. Okay. 33 percentage increase either you know that 33 percentage which decrease either you know that the price is going to go less than the original price, but you want to just bring it to the original price, so the value is going to be less than 33.3 percentage that you would know the percentage reduction is going to be less than 33 percentage. Okay, fine. Now one way of doing this is, let's assume the price of pen is 100. Okay, it increased by 33.3 percentage, so you will add 33.3, so the new price is 133.33. 133.33. Now you have to bring it back to 100. What is the percentage reduction? How much should 133.3 be reduced so that you get 100? So that means the reduction has to be 33.33 absolute value divided by, now the initial price now becomes 133.3. Why? Because you're starting from here now. അല്ലേ? ഇത് വെച്ച് ഒരു percentage drop അല്ലേ പറയുന്നത്? 133.3 which compare ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ what should be the percentage drop in order to make it 100? So 133.33 into 100 percentage, you can calculate this. This is going to be the answer. This is the conventional way of doing it. Now if you're comfortable with percentages and fractions, percentages two fractions and fractions two percentages, you can say this is 1 by 3 increase. Let's assume the price is x. Now if you increase it by 1 by 3, you get the new price as 4 by 3x, which was nothing but 133.3x. Now 4 by 3x, now you have to make it back as x. That means you have to reduce 1 by 3 again. അല്ലേ? 1 by 3 reduce ചെയ്യണം. So the 1 by, so the percentage change would be 1 by 3x divided by the new one, that is 4 by 3x into 100. E3 E3 cancel m, x cancel m, so it doesn't matter what the value price, what the price of the actual price of the pen is. X anyway cut type. So you will get the answer as 1 by 4 into 100 percentage, which is nothing but 25 percentage. So the answer is 25 percentage. Is that clear? Clear or either? One way of doing is simply assume they haven't told you what the price of the pen is, right? So you can assume any value for the price of the pen. Just make sure you stick to the other conditions that is given, that is 33 percentage increase. So from any price that you consider, 10 rupees or 100 rupees or 200 rupees, increase the price by 33.33 percentage, you get a value. From that, bring it back to your initial price. What has to be the reduction? The reduction divided by the increased price in percentage is going to give you the answer. That is one way. But if you, the moment you see 33.3, you should always get this intuition that okay, maybe if I make it as 1 by 3, it is going to make my life easier. So 33.3 is nothing but 1 by 3. So that means what they have told in terms of fraction, whatever was there, divide it by 3 and add one part to it, right? One out of the three parts to it. That means you get 4 by 3 as the new value. If 4 by 3 is തിരിച്ച് 1 ആക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി, you have to remove 1 by 3 from it. So 1 by 3 is what the price that you should remove, which is why you put it here, divided by the price which is the starting price, which is 4 by 3. You get the answer as 25%. Is this clear, guys? Clear, yes or no? See, what generally anybody else does is in the starting itself, from the starting, people just teach the conventional method on how to do this. Now if I were, if I have to follow other teachers, I would simply show you the conventional method and go on, and then towards the end, say towards the last 2 months or last 3 months, they come up with something like smart work workshop, and in that workshop they teach all of this. But I don't want to do that, because from starting, if you're getting used to conventional for the next 4 to 5 months, you get used to the conventional method, long method, then it is very tough for you to change from that to the other one. So from starting, if you try to think of it this way, if you try to shorten the method this way, you will develop that. So you will get another 8 months now from now on to develop that intuition, to develop the thought process, right? Is that clear? So was this question clear? Only Ashna is saying yes. What about others? Guys, if you have any doubt, please ask me. If please unmute and ask. Otherwise, please tell me it's clear. This will clear or no? Okay, fine. So let's do one thing. Now the concepts for the day is done. We'll be solving more number of questions so that we can get the concept gets reinforced in our mind. Before that, let's take a short 5 minute break and come back. Okay, let's take a short 5 minute break. Let's quickly solve questions, wrap it up, and wrap today's session. Okay, so let's meet back at 1:05. Guys, if you are back, please type back in chat box and send it to me so that I know you guys are here and we can continue. Okay. Gesla, Dishil are back. What about others? Ashna, Nandakrishna, are you guys here? Okay, let's do. So what we are gonna do is we are gonna solve questions back to back based on whatever we studied today, so that we whatever we studied gets reinforced. Okay. Each question ഞാൻ ഒരു 1.5 to 2 depending on the question I'll give you 1 minute to 2 minutes. So you have to solve it. So what you see, now we have two questions on this. I'll give you guys 2 minutes to solve this, to solve both of them together. And the moment you get the answer, please type it in the chat box. Even if somebody else has also typed the answer, it is fine. You also, when you get the answer, you type it. Good. Okay. I can see that you guys have solved it. Okay. Dishil answer kitty question one or two. Any of them? Dishil, are you there? Okay. So let's quickly solve 20, 3 by 20 is what percentage of 12 by 25? It just comes down to 3 by 20 divided by 12 by 25 into 100 percentage. So this is nothing but 3 by 20 into 25 by 12. Cancel it out. You get 5. You get 4 here. You get 4. Correct? You get 5 by 16 into 100 percentage, which is 31.25. Correct? Next one, what is 10 percentage of 20 percentage of 25 percentage of 100? So start from here. 25 percentage of 100 is nothing but 25. 25 in the 20 percentage is nothing but 5. 5 in the 10 percentage is nothing but zero point 0.5. Okay, you hardly need 10 seconds for both of these. Next one. Try to come up with the shortest method that you are able to think of rather than going the conventional way. Answer. Okay. How did you guys solve it? Did you guys solve it conventionally or did you guys use any other technique? വേറെ എന്തെങ്കിലും ടെക്നിക്ക് യൂസ് ചെയ്തായിരുന്നോ or അല്ലെങ്കിൽ conventional? Okay, great. So one conventional way of solving this is 72% of x is equal to 468. Then you get x to be equal to 468 divided by 72 into 100. You find this value and this value into zero point 0.8, you get the answer. Okay, this is the conventional way. But if you want to do it in a shorter way, what you can do is you see that 72% is 460 is 468. അങ്ങനെയാണെങ്കിൽ 72% 468 ആണെങ്കിൽ 8% എന്തായിരിക്കും? 8% എന്തായിരിക്കും? How do you convert 72 into 8 divided by 9 അല്ലേ? അങ്ങനെയാണെങ്കിൽ ഇവിടെ ഡിവൈഡഡ് ബൈ 9 ചെയ്യണ്ടേ? ഇവിടെ ഡിവൈഡഡ് ബൈ 9 ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ വാട്ട് ഡു യു ഗെറ്റ് 8% ആസ്? യു ഗെറ്റ് 8% ആസ് 52. ഓക്കെ, 72% plus 8% എന്താ? Is 80 percentage, which is what we need. That means 72 percentage was 468. 72 percentage of the number is 468 plus 8 percentage you got as 52 plus 52 is 520. Clear? Is that clear? Nandakrishna and Dishil, is this clear? Okay. Next question. Two questions. I'll give you guys 3 minutes altogether. Okay, answers. Only Ghazla has got the answers. What about others? Okay, let's solve. What is told? A is 20. A is 30% more than B. The moment you read this, you have to write it as A is equal to 1.3 B. Okay. Now B is 20% less than C. That means B is equal to 0.8 C. ഇങ്ങനെയാണ് എഴുതേണ്ടത്. Now what is told? Compare what A is what percentage more or less than C. So one second. ഒന്ന് റീഷെയർ ചെയ്യട്ടെ. ഇപ്പൊ കാണുന്നുണ്ടോ? Okay. So what is told? The moment you read this, the moment you read this, A is 30% more than B. You have to write A is equal to 1.3 times B. Okay. Now next information that is given. B is 20% less than C. That means B is equal to 0.8 C. What is told? What is the percentage? A is what percentage more or less than C. So that means you have to compare A and C. So you have to get A and C in an equation. കാണുന്നുണ്ടോ റൈറ്റ്? ഇല്ലേ? ഇപ്പൊ സ്ക്രീൻ കാണുന്നുണ്ടോ? Can you see? Guys, are you able to see the screen? Yes, okay. Writing ഇവിടെ, are you able to see my pen? Pen visible അല്ല writing. One second. ഇപ്പോഴാ? ഇപ്പൊ കാണുന്നുണ്ടോ? Okay, so what I was saying is A is 30% more than B. The moment you read this, you write it as A is equal to 1.3 B. Now, next information that is given is B is 20% less than C. That means B is equal to 0.8 C. Clear? What is told? A is what percent more or less than C. So you have to compare A and C. That means substitute for B is equal to zero point 0.8 C here. So you get A is equal to 1.3 into 0.8 C. So 1.3 into 0.3, that is 13 into 8. 13 into 8 എത്ര വരുന്നത്? 8 into 13, 80 plus 24. That means 1.04 C. അല്ലേ? A is equal to 1.04 times C. That means A is 4% more than C. Correct? Clear? Is it clear? Guys, yes or no? ലാസ്റ്റ് നമുക്ക് തീരാറായി. പെട്ടെന്ന് ഒന്ന് കുറച്ച് എനർജിയിൽ ഒന്ന് ചെയ്ത് തീർക്കാം. Yes, yes. Okay, fine, fine. Okay, now next one. The salary of Ajay is 10% more than that of Vivek. Find by what percent is the salary of Vivek less than. Okay, that means A is equal to 1.1 V. അല്ലേ? അങ്ങനെയാണെങ്കിൽ V is equal to what? 1 by 1.1 times A. Correct ആണോ? 1 by 1.1. This is nothing but 10 by 11. 10 by 11 A. 1 by 11 എത്രയായിരുന്നു? 1 by 11 was 0.0909. 10 by 11 will be എത്ര പെർസെൻറ്റേജ് ആയിരിക്കും? എത്ര ആയിരിക്കും? 1 by 11 ആണെങ്കിൽ എത്ര പെർസെൻറ്റേജ് ഡൗൺ ആയിരിക്കും? Or if you want the other way around, what you can do is assume Vivek's salary to be 100 rupees, then Ajay's salary will be 110 rupees. Now, by what percentage is salary of Vivek less than that of Ajay? That means comparison Ajay ആണ്. So Vivek's salary is 10 rupees less than Ajay and base is 110. 110 into 100 percentage. Again, we came back at 1 by 11, which is nothing but 9.09 percentage. Clear or is it clear? Okay, now next one. Okay, and ഇവിടെ ഒരു വേറെ ഒരു concept. Okay, I'll teach it in next time. Okay, what is told here? Length and breadth of a rectangle are increased by 10%. Then what by what percent will the area increase? Okay, let's assume the initial length is L and the initial breadth is B. So initial area of rectangle in the length into breadth initial area is L into B. Okay. Inipo length increased by 10 percentage. That means the new length is 1.1 L. Breadth increased by 10 percentage. That means 1.1 B. So new area is nothing but 1.1 L into 1.1 B. Can I write it as 1.1 into 1.1 into length into breadth. This is nothing but this area. So it is e 1.1 into 1.1 itra 11 square is 121 alle. So this would be 1.21 into initial area, which is this area. That means the new area is 1.21 times initial area. That means the new area is 21 percentage more. Is that clear? Guys, everyone type if it's clear. This is the last question. If you have any doubt in whatever we learned today, please ask me right away. If it's clear, just type clear. So the session on percentages, we are ending it here. I wanted to do profit and loss also, but I don't want to overwhelm you guys with lot of concepts in one day. So I guess today's whatever you have learned is clear. If it's clear, then others, Nandakrishna, Dishil, is it clear? Everything that we learned today. Do you have any doubt anywhere? Clear. Okay. Okay. Fine. So if a quantitative aptitude in the percentages, we have covered the basics of percentages. Next class we will be learning the application of percentages, that is in profit and loss and simple interest and compound interest. Okay, application level area. Adla we'll learn the concepts at first and then go to questions same way. So in Nippo we have some more time left. So what we can do is, did you guys all of you solve the two DLR sets that were given to you? ചെയ്തായിരുന്നോ? DLR സെറ്റ്സ് സോൾവ് ചെയ്തായിരുന്നോ? ഓർ ട്രൈ ചെയ്തായിരുന്നോ? ട്രൈ ചെയ്തവർ, ട്രൈ ചെയ്തിട്ട് കിട്ടാത്തവർ ജസ്റ്റ് ട്രൈഡ് എന്ന് ടൈപ്പ് ചെയ്. ഇഫ് യു ഗോട്ട് ദി ആൻസർ ജസ്റ്റ് ടൈപ്പ് സോൾവ്. If you got the answer, type solved. Ashna, Dishil try ചെയ്തായിരുന്നോ? DLR try ചെയ്തില്ല. Okay. Uh, okay, what we'll do now, let's exit from this call and I'll create another call right now. You can join that call. There we'll solve the two sets of DLR. Okay? Okay or no? Or will you guys join or will you guys not join? Okay, so you can exit this call. I'll create another class specifically for DLR and we can discuss there.